Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they're kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm your host, James Boyd, and here with me I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just finished my first season in the minor leagues and got offered a major league contract. So I'm in spring training with the Marlins right now. So trying to get these service years going so I can hit free agency and sign 1-year contracts and jump team to team.
Okay, so for those that don't know or don't remember or whatever else, he's talking about his My Player mode on, was it MLB The Show?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you hitting in the minors?
So I hit a slump to end the season. So I was like around like 416. And I think I dropped to like 365.
What
to the
difficulty
end
are you playing this game on?
Oh, beginner.
Oh,
I ain't messing around. I tried to boost it up a little bit, and I was all right, but it was getting a little tough. So I had to drop it down. I was like, who I'm trying to impress? trying to get these stats. Shoot, like back in the day when I was like younger, that might have hurt my pride that I'll play on rookie or beginner. But now, who am I trying to impress? Who am I regularly gaming with? Nope, I'm just going to beat the computer's brains in and just win. And I'll take my chances online.
I was not expecting this, but once you said 450, like, hold the fuck up, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Okay.
between AA and AAA, I believe I hit around like 54 or 55 home runs.
Wow.
And I'm like well over like I want to say it was like 150 RBIs at least. So,
oh man.
Yep.
Okay,
hitting that bitch deep.
Okay, so we have a few things we can do, little quick things on from the real world this week. Some things are actually even fun. We don't have to start like this show and immediately talk about COVID this week, but yeah. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Alsina and Jada Smith? Do you want to do that?
I guess we have to, right?
Okay, so give us the backstory on this one, Rich.
So I haven't followed it as close, but what I'm gathering is August Alsina came out here and did an interview with Angela Yee of the Breakfast Club, and she got this man to tell it all. Like Plies was talking about, oh y'all tell it all. Like you have to check out the Plies Remix of Confessions for some of the most one of the funniest songs you ever hear in your life. But apparently he was like, yeah, me and Jada was out here together and we've been together, and I guess they are not being together anymore. And it's kind of like this open secret kind of with like Will and Jada, where they, you know, they have an agreement. To put it lightly, like, you know, you do your thing, we do our thing, but, you know, we together, but, you know, like, you mine, but you not mine, you know, like, it's
isn't that the line that Terrence Howard character said in Hustle and Flow when he pimped out old girl to get a microphone? Isn't that what he said?
So. I think so.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like she belonged to me, but she don't belong to me. But their situation is a little different because, you know, basically they made it like everyone's taking this and run with it like this is some cuck shit. This is like a bunch of other whatever. That's not really the funny part. It's August Alsina, and then, you know, Jada, she has like the Red Table Talk stuff. So everyone's like anticipating like, all right, when is she going to interview herself? And apparently she is going to be doing a Red Table Talk about it. But the whole thing is like, there's this big age gap between them. There's, you know, Jada is kind of always kind of carried this energy throughout the whole time she's been in the public eye, but she's something of a man eater, you would think. Like, she'll take your soul, like Shang Tsung, and she looked like she's taking this man August Alsina's soul. And this man sounds hurt. This man sounds like he was in love, and it just sounds like she told him, from what I gather, that she ain't leaving. And she was never leaving. This was the arrangement. And why would she? Like, her and Will have been together for like 25 years in the public eye. They have an empire. I'm sure they have lots of money together, homes, everything. But it's just like, while they together, they got, you know, different needs and wants or whatever. But August is out here looking nuts.
Have you seen his hair?
All the memes. I have seen his hair.
Like, why does his hair look like 99 Khaleesi's?
I don't know, man. I try not to judge our brother's hair, but that man going through something.
But the thing is, like, it looked cute on Khaleesi, but like I don't really know what to do with it on the top of August Alsina's head. Like, I really don't know what to do with it. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you go through some type of like traumatic experience, like emotionally, with like some type of relationship done wrong or whatever else, and like people want to make some type of drastic change, and it's like, is this the drastic change? How long does his hair look like this? Like, I don't really be checking for August Alsina like this, but like, this looks like one of them kind of hairdos. Like, yeah. So I'm wondering.
It's like, because I remember I seem to believe them being on a red carpet together before, and she was like kissing him on the red carpet or something like that. It was a couple years ago now, but a lot of people were looking at this situation, her being older, like I was saying, him being younger. And if this situation was reversed, this would be like, Jada would be all types of monsters and everything else. And it's just kind of, it's got people putting out all the memes. If you haven't seen them, check them out. It's a weird situation, but it's been the talk of Twitter.
Yeah, like, I'm sure Virgil Abloh was just like, thank you, August. I appreciate this. Next topic of discussion. The homie Pop Smoke album came out.
Good album, by the way. Enjoyed listening to it. Yeah. Okay. It's sad he's no longer with us, because he was a star. Okay.
I've only heard like a couple things from him. Like, he was on a remix. He was on a remix from that had her on it, and I was like, or it's a her song that was remixed. He was on. I was like, that's cool. But I never really, went into it. But yeah, Pop Smoke's album cover was released on, I believe it was Monday, and it set the internet ablaze because of how basic and cheap and just more or less just thrown together, hastily made that it looked. And then we find out that the person that was in charge of the album cover was Virgil Abloh. Yes, the famous Virgil that has the paddock on Drake's wrist looking nuts, even though he will then, after being known for having these classy watches, will go out here when it's time to put money on people's bail or whatever else. He contributes $50 to the cause, and then people clown him for, and then people clown him for hours, and then all of a sudden he comes behind and is like, all right, I was just playing, here's a few thousand. So okay,
this man dropped off this bullshit like that. Looks like if you made it on a cell phone, it would be a step up than what he did it on.
I guess like the best parts of this was like online, like every other hour you would scroll through it and you would see a new video of someone making a decent facsimile of this album cover in like inside of like 30 seconds on an app on their phone or on Paint off of like the CP. So it's just like, I mean the PC. So it's just like, dude, you're really this lazy. Like this thing is that, and like
it's like this man trying to pass off this simplicity as brilliance. Nigga, it is not brilliant.
Right.
Like I'm tired of this shit.
Right, and I mean, I remember like I went on like a 2-minute like rant.
That was
as
awesome.
It
was hilarious.
Yeah, and it's like the dude he's a head of some department in Louis Vuitton, and he's linked up with Kanye. That's kind of how he has a name in this sort of time right now. And then like from there, like from being around different people, whatever else in the scene, like he has become friends with Drake. So like he's basically amongst these gigantic brokers in this industry that's not the one that's his, but like, you know, Kanye was so into fashion that like it is bridged into this now, right? So much of Kanye's stuff that I did not know was basically, you know, kind of consultation with Virgil is like when you see, you know, the Yeezy season stuff, whatever else, and you see like those fashion shows that Kanye's done over the years, and
where they be dressing homeless,
dudes be dressing like they're basically underground resistance from after like the machines took over in the Matrix, right? Like that is some of the Virgil influence. That's along with obviously Kanye, but like some of that's influenced by Virgil. And like you look at a lot of like the Virgil inspired stuff, like the Virgil Nikes, where they're basically like whatever he'll take, his take on a shoe is whatever shoe it is. So like let's say it's an Air Force One, it'll be an Air Force One where like it's the exact same design except like it's see-through. All those see-through Nikes you've seen over the years, those are like, that's the Virgil version. So it's like, I'm sorry, but like I'm not an art person personally. I'm not a fashion person because a lot of that stuff to me is so subjective of what's hot or whatever else. Especially when it comes to the art part of it, is like anything can be art. Virtually anything can be art if you have the right spin or narrative around it. So for me, when I see someone like Virgil and Kanye, and because of the respect for Kanye's craft as a musical talent and his passion for fashion, like you can be easily one could be easily conned to believing that like the high art and concepts of Kanye's earlier music with the passion he has for fashion, when he goes into fashion or even, you know, parts of the art stuff, you can think that like just because it's simplistic means like, well, this is just his brilliance that's being transported by osmosis from one genre or media form to the next. And I find that to be like maybe, or chances are, not chances are, but like there's also a good chance that you are all being scammed by this guy or these guys.
Virgil.
Right, Virgil and Kanye both. So, like, when it's something
every Virgil we've ever known is a worker.
Right, so, he's stupid as fuck. So, the thing for me was, like, the stuff is so minimalized, or so minimal that it's like, anyone can do this. And I understand that's part of the accessibility and the aesthetic of the clear shoes that are just the same fucking brand build as everything else, or, you know, coming out here dressing like, you know, like you're part of the underground in the Matrix. But there's also part of it's like, I don't have to respect this.
Right.
Anyway, like, I remember, who was it? It was Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, right? Where, like, Iron Man ends up getting strapped, he ends up getting kidnapped, there's an explosion, shrapnel ends up in his body, he ends up using a magnet and some type of machine force to keep the shrapnel from getting to his heart and killing him, right? And he did it in a cave while it was happening. So then, after he survives this, his partner takes all of this stuff, or wants to overthrow the company, take the company from him. So he's having the people that are like part of R&D and research and all this shit, like try to replicate what's in this man's chest, right? So then, like, his scientists keep telling him, I can't replicate this, right? And then the dude loses it at one point. He's like, Tony Stark made this in a cave with bits and parts. And I'm just like, these niggas are doing this in a cave with bits and parts. This is not impressive. Get out of here. Anyone can do this shit. So when, like, Virgil comes out here with this album cover, and you look at his other album covers they did, I didn't know he did until this week, and he's like,
bro, this man slapping a barcode on some shit. He's putting a butterfly on a thing. He's doing a little heart on a thing. I'm like, bro, like, you ain't no better of an art designer than I am. Like, I've recently been making all my own covers.
Right. And the thing for me is, even like the 808s, a Heartbreak, or Watch the Throne, I see the theme for it, so I understand it, and that's fine. And but once you get to 2015, and I find out that, like, that picture of diamonds for the Drake in the future,
it's just like Getty Images,
is his shit. Is something that he quote unquote did, and I'm just like, it's just a fucking picture of diamonds. This nigga sending an invoice for this?
Unbelievable.
And then
bro, you know what this sound like? This sound like Jermaine Dupri and Lil Jon being in the studio.
Yes, it
and
does.
then Jermaine Dupri walks in as a hi-hat co-production.
Right. and then the fast forward from, like, the What a Time to Be Alive album cover, and then you see I think it's a Post Malone. I'm gonna say Moses Malone. A Post Malone album cover, like his first album from a couple years ago. And then you look at this album, it's like, oh, so you took the diamonds from the What a Time to Be Alive album cover. You took the barbed wire from this Post Malone album cover from just a couple years ago, and then you took a picture that you can Google image easily of Pop Smoke. And you just basically put that shit over and put smoke over it, and then made it like a shade of blue. And it's like, dude, there's no genius in this. This is lazy. Like, this nigga is selling you snake oil. He's a charlatan.
Yeah.
And that's why I snapped off on the thing for 2 hours. Like, now I'm dissecting my rant on it, but, like, for people that, may not be that familiar with this stuff, but, like, all this stuff's been coming over, like, the last month, ever since this nigga, like, with the $50 thing. And I've been like, man, I've been sitting here brewing about this shit, and I was like, you know what, this is the final straw. Fuck this nigga. Like, I'm sorry. I'm over it. I'm through. He's not a fucking genius. He's just a guy that got that. Look, he talked to the right people. He had some type of, obviously some type of hustle, and he made it work for him. Congratulations. But don't tell me he's a genius. He's a hustler.
Yeah. This is like Jeff Jarrett would be proud of this. Like, this is. I think we had to add Virgil to Finesser of the Year this year. Yeah. Like, we may have to make a special exception and throw Virgil Abloh on the ballot.
Yeah. So I think I said my piece. You good on this Pop Smoke version? Yeah, I'll check out the Pop Smoke album when I get a chance. But I'll do it probably tonight or tomorrow. Jadakiss Fabolous. I did not hear it, but what were your takeaways from it, Rich?
I watched it, and it felt like, going into it, I was, going for Fab, because Fab's the reason I started rapping, like, originally, right? Okay. And early on into the battle, I flipped like a judge. Like, I was like, Jadakiss is the streets. Like, and it was just like, Fab kept playing these weird, like, he kept, like, playing just stuff you wouldn't play. Like, he's played the wrong songs or whatever, and everything Kiss did was just like, it seemed like it was so calculated. It seemed like it was, and Kiss left a lot of stuff on the table. Like, he didn't play Put Your Hands Up, which was crazy to me. But Fab, I think where Fab went wrong was he it's weird. I don't know what he did. Like that first, like I think they came to some type of agreement. Like we were going to do like the features, like the first 10, and then like whatever you want the next 10. If I'm not mistaken. So Jadakiss was playing like just hard stuff. Like he's playing his verse on the Made You Look song. He's playing Recognize from the Locks album. Like just real, like if you know stuff. He's playing All for the Love. Like, and it was just like Fabolous ain't got nothing like that just sticks to you, or he does, but he didn't play it. Mm-hmm. So he was playing like I'ma Do It, like that song with Kobe. Like that's not it at all. Like he should have like went very early stuff, like the first, maybe second album, take Breathe, something from the Soul Tape series, and then like cherry pick legendary freestyles that he has, because this isn't like a strictly like play your Billboard stuff. Like you'll come out here and get clowned if you just do that. So what he was doing was like, it was puzzling, and then you would see Kiss just comes back with an answer every time, strategy, and then just like you forget, Jadakiss can run a lot of people out of here. With
if you include his features, yeah,
like with his features, his girl songs, his street songs, like stuff with the Locks, like just it really felt like this was Rich Ladder's rap right here, like Jadakiss versus Fabolous. It was amazing to see those guys. They played the Can I Live song with Black Rob, and I fucking lost it. He played Blood Pressure. I lost it. It was funny because I was calling everything Jadakiss will play probably like 2 songs ahead of time. I was like, he should go here, and then he does it, and then he should go here, he does it, and then it's just like the only one he didn't do is Put Your Hands Up, which is still mind-boggling to me. But
he didn't do that.
It's like he forgot or something. but I think Fab just I don't know what he was thinking with a lot of the stuff he picked. Like if he would have let me do his selection, I think he would have fared much better.
Yeah, I thought going into it that Jadakiss was going to be going to have a hard time getting towards the end of it, because Fabolous has such a long list of hit records that like Jadakiss quite frankly just does not have. But you know, anybody can lose if you misplay your hand. So you know, it is what it is. Like
Jadakiss is the streets. Like it's,
yeah. I also think another thing is like, you know, once you know, I think also, you know, just by listening to it, like, do you think Fabolous like is insecure about what his rap career is, or like his quote unquote legacy is?
Yes.
So basically, yeah, because I imagine like, cause if he's gonna play, if he's gonna be like, look, man, I made these songs work, people will connect to these songs, I'm gonna play it, I don't give a fuck, because like, you know, I made these songs, that's who I am. I think he does, you know, I think he does beat Jadakiss, but like maybe he's like, well, you know, I want respect or whatever else, even like then that, or you know, I'm ashamed of the girl songs I did, all the, you know, songs for the ladies that I did, and R&B versus collabs and all that stuff. Then yeah, he's gonna be in trouble for that, because like.
Because he played I'm So Into You. He played Make Me Better.
Oh, he did.
Played,
okay.
But the stuff, it was just too late by that point. Like after that.
Oh, so he was down and he used that shit to come back.
Right. Right. So like it was like, nah, man, because like he just picked the wrong stuff to go with, because he's got like, if he wanted to play like street songs, he could got
play
them.
Breathe. He could play I'm Raw. He could play
He didn't play anything from that era, from like the I'm Raw stuff. Like he didn't play. It was like there's this lost period of his career that he just like.
And you say he didn't play any solo tapes, so that misses like y'all don't really hear me though. That's weird.
Right.
Yeah. Like I mean, because the solo tape stuff, a lot of that stuff for me was like he's extending his you know, his relevance by, you know, doing this stuff. But, you know, if that's not what he wanted to do, well,
like
it is what it is.
Like Jadakiss, just like I'll just read, like he started with Blackout, like DMS lost Jay-Z, like come on, man, like Made You Look, Recognize, By Your Side, All for the Love, a DJ Clue freestyle he did, World War III, Banned from TV, Blood Pressure, Can I Live, Victory, which he wrote Diddy's verse. I didn't know that.
Neither did I. Makes sense now.
The mighty D Block shit with Luch and J Hood. Fuck you from the Locks. Knock yourself out. Run with Ghostface. All about the Benjamins. Like, you forget how much shit he's on. What's up?
Did he play Y?
He did not.
Huh.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The song he got with Mary J. Blige, like that let off belly.
Did he play You Can't Stop Me?
You want it? What up?
Did he play You Can't Stop Me?
No.
That's another one. I love that fucking song.
Ride or Die, bitch. He played that.
Yeah.
We Gonna Make It. He played that.
He had to. That might be his best song.
I think that was his answer to Breathe.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm too emotionally invested in both of those songs to ever pick. That's like a tie, just off rip. Like, I can't like beat one of those. I just can't.
Right. So like, I think Kiss was like it didn't take long for you to start like rooting for Jadakiss just because you saw he had a strategy. Mm-hmm. He knew who he was in this game, even if a lot of people didn't know who he was. He was like, yo, I have a fucking I've got a fucking war chest right here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have to talk about? Oh, so Rich, are you ready to stand for the Black National Anthem at NFL games?
Unbelievable. No, I'm not.
The best part was like when you sent it in the chat to me, I was like, what the fuck is the Black National Anthem? I'm sorry, I don't remember this on the guidebook. This was not told to me during the meetings that that we secretly had.
Yeah, the secret black meetings. Yeah,
I was unaware.
Those of you guys are unfamiliar.
I guess I was CC'd on the memo. I don't know.
It's like lift every voice and sing. There's this old song.
Like, I know the song. I didn't know that. Right. I know the song. I didn't know that was the quote unquote Black National Anthem. Did not know that.
Yeah. So what the NFL is trying to do is like fuck with people even more. Yeah. Which says, all right, if you don't stand for this anthem, you are a traitor to your own race. So you're gonna stand up one way or another. This is really weird.
It ain't gonna work. Like, if you really wanted it to work, and you want a quote unquote anthem to play, you need to play the International Players Anthem. People, that's what get these young black 20-something-year-olds to stand. Andre, Pip C, Bun B, Big Boy, and DJ Paul and Juicy J on the production. That will get them to stand. You know how many of these kids from SEC and ACC?
Look, I think that's a much better idea, honestly. Like, what are they doing? Like,
I don't know.
The more shit that we didn't ask for.
Right. Like, I imagine, because all this stuff is just PR.
Who brought this up in the meeting? Was like, we should play Lift Every Voice and say, right. Is this the work of the Jigga Man, or was this run by the Jigga Man?
No way. Like, I think what happened is they came up and was like, well, we wanted to stand for something, so maybe we give them something they can take. They could find themselves in. They'll stand for that or whatever else. Like, all this shit is trying to be about unifying, and it's like, nah, bro, just stop killing us. What's wrong with y'all?
That's the only thing that we're asking for,
Yeah, man.
But what are some of the weirdest things you've seen that? I got one for sure that is yeah, we're gonna stop doing this. I saw some realtors, they're not gonna refer to it as the master bedroom. I'm like they call it the owner's bedroom or something like that now.
Yeah, which is whatever. Semantically, a master owns, whatever.
Yeah.
It's semantics, but yeah, man, they're going into sitcoms that are on streaming.
Yes.
And they're getting rid of things that even not even things that are blackface. They're getting rid of things that people can misconstrue as blackface. They're talking about going into a Golden Girls episode where two of the women have mud masks
cover
on. And it's are y'all that shook? Are y'all that shook?
Man. So if y'all seen any funny ones, throw them in the One Nation Radio Discord. Like just things that folks are doing that we're not asking for, that they're doing now, trying to acquiesce us.
Yeah. Speaking of things that like good decent people are asking for, Kanye West has came out here and said that he is going to run for president in the 2020 presidential election.
God damn it,
dude! I'm not gonna spend much time on this. The only thing I'm doing is like giving it the laugh, like the disrespect and dismissal of laughing at it deserves. Like, I hope that I don't know anybody that's voting for Kanye, and I say that as somebody who has a cousin that is like a Kanye #1 stan. Like, he's the person that sends in a letter that at the end of it says, "P.S. We should be together too." So, like I like even he has enough sense not to vote for him. So it's like, whatever. You don't think so? You think Alex would have vote for him? Okay.
Yeah. So if he were really running for president, right? He would have announced this a year ago,
right?
You don't
as an independent candidate, yes.
Like, you don't start running in the middle of or the beginning of July,
right?
That's just not how it works,
right?
So I refuse to like take this serious at all.
Nor should you.
Yeah. Next, really, I think it's a joke. I think Kanye West is a joke. I think he's, I know what a rollout looks like.
Right.
Like we got the fashion stuff a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And now this is like the political stuff. Mm-hmm. And now he's gonna say some absurd shit to go with it, and then like some type of project's coming out in like a month.
Right.
So I know what a rollout looks like. Like, you're not fooling nobody.
Right.
We've seen it.
And like the thing with it is like people got hip to this shit. Like the last straw for most people was 2016 with the MAGA hat or whatever else. And it's like, dude, that's when I jumped off. I was like, I'm good. Nope, never again. Like I haven't listened to a single project that Kanye has been involved with since then. Right? Like, I think there's another reason why, like, since 2014 I fell off music hard, and like I kind of stayed away from like a lot of stuff. And like the reason why I never like say, you know what, I fucking love music. I love just checking out who doesn't love music. I sound like a weirdo back and like explaining my love for music. But the reason why like I haven't gone back through a lot of stuff is because like Kanye's all over a lot of this stuff, and I just feel like that shit is completely tainted and terrible. And like I don't feel like my him using my anger for promo is or controversy for promo is like, I don't think that is like, you're not gonna get that from me. Like you have insulted my dignity. Fuck you. So yeah. We can move on to actually talk about wrestling, since this is in fact a wrestling podcast. 33 minutes in.
Amazing.
Yeah, main roster talk. Kairi Sane's contract is running out. Talk is Monday's show is probably have they write her off forever. The original plan was that they were going to have somebody injure her to write her off TV forever, / quote unquote retire her, to then build heat towards a title defense for Asuka, whether it was going to be Nia or Shayna Baszler or Charlotte when she returns. But once Nia, hard weight her by throwing her head first into some steel steps, they decided to change course. Right now on Monday.
So you mean to tell me that Nia Jax was causing storyline changing injuries as a shoot?
Yes, for the second time, yes. Yes. For the second notable time that has happened.
No.
So
the third time.
The third. Oh,
she
yes.
Bailey.
Yep, she separated her fucking shoulder like on the go home show 2 weeks out. Yeah, I forgot about that. Jesus. So apparently on Monday it will be Asuka versus Bailey, champion versus champion non-title match, with Sasha cornering Bayley and Kairi cornering Asuka, and we'll see where they go from there. We don't know. But yeah, man, Kairi's is done. They sent Fightful reported earlier in the week that they wanted her to retire and be some type of or go back to Japan and be some type of ambassador for them, which is like, yeah, we'll pay you to not wrestle, which sounds very, very, very appealing. But she has decided, like, I don't want that, at least not yet. And she says she will, that the plan is, at least so far, is to go back to Japan and wrestle for like a year. She's already married. She got married earlier in the year. Go back to Japan, be with her husband, wrestle for like a year or so, and then retire from wrestling I think at that point until be like 32, 33. What are your thoughts on this, Rich?
They blew her entire career. They have no idea what they had in her. They had no idea what to do with her. This is worse than Bayley. You're talking about one of the best babyface wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. And she's a misspitting Japanese heel. What? This is another example of the malpractice that has like just permeated this company. They didn't even give her a chance to get over as a babyface on the main roster at all. She had a short title reign in NXT and never really got it because Triple H was obsessed with building around Shayna Baszler forever. So the one that was there to basically season Shayna Baszler was Kairi Sane in all their matches. This is just like, I know she's high on Kenny Omega's list. I don't think she's going to go that direction. I think she's going back home. And we all know the clock was ticking once she got married, especially like in Joshi. Like, it's like, all right, well, you're getting married or like you're retiring. Like, it's almost like tennis. Like, all right, you're going to get married. That means you're retiring soon. That's just how it is over there. And I saw Kairi Sane in a lot of small events in Florida. She was always awesome, always try hard, always a big smile that just like makes everyone feel good. I met her. I jumped out the car in New Orleans, went to see her and took a picture with her, and it was just like an orange glow around her. But WWE like never like ever had a clue what to do with her.
I don't have much to add because like everything you said is exactly how I feel, except I'm even more like, except I have more like, I don't know if anger or I probably have more words to say it, but like you said it way more concise than I could. But yeah, we do not do Stardom on a nearly weekly basis when it's up and running, or a weekly basis when it's up and running, if not for Kairi Sane. We don't. She was the perfect model for what you want if you're a WWE person. She's the perfect model for what you want out of a Japanese women's wrestling superstar. She can do comedy. She can wrestle her ass off. She can be a great underneath baby face. She's somebody that you can easily make a number 2 baby face in either women's division because you can beat her because she is small, even though she's not as small as, say, an Alexa Bliss, but she is small nonetheless. And she wrestles with all this heart and passion, and she's tough, as in the words of JR, as a $2 steak. They never gave her a chance. The only chance she ever got was when she was in NXT, and they, once she got to the main roster, they immediately made her a tag team partner with Asuka, and then they proceeded to make her basically the pin eater for Asuka to protect Asuka, and they never gave her a shot. And I guess now it's kind of weird because she's been there for 3 years. Most WWE contracts were 3 years, so we figured it would be a situation just like with everybody else with NXT when they go to the main roster. She signs another deal to extend. especially in this era. So it would have been 5 years. Apparently she didn't sign. Makes you wonder if she never actually got a pay bump after all this time, this whole year on the roster. Who knows? But like, the thing that people need to understand about this with Asuka with Kairi and Io is that like they both came to NXT and took pay cuts to WWE, and they took pay cuts to do so. These are two women that headline at that point dozens of Korakuen Hall shows, and Stardom is, for as much as we talk about Stardom and how they are the best women's wrestling promotion in the world, that is an outfit that is made to sell products, and the wrestling is something that they do to sell in order to sell said products. Like most of the women that make their money, they're making their money off of meet and greet type situations and selling merchandise. And you talk about like the Korakuen Hall stuff, or even our homeboy Jamie when he was there for Wrestle Kingdom this year. He talked about like there were two gigantic lines in downtown Tokyo. It was the New Japan shop and like basically like a line just as long for Stardom stuff. And Stardom have a show that day apparently. So it's like that is the business model, is to sell you $30 gimmicks. So they were paid like, and they decided, you know what? I want to try to get this worldwide recognition for myself and for Stardom. And, like, she always talked about, like, when she, left, she said, like, I imagine myself coming back here, and we'll see. We don't know if she's a freelancer or whatever else. Maybe some things have changed. I don't know. But, like, she has remained in contact with Rossi. Every time she's ever, like, going on the Japan trip, she goes and sees, Fuka, her trainer, and her kid, Azumi, Momo, Jungle. So, I mean, I'm a hold off or whatever else, but I will tell you this. If and when Kairi shows up back in Stardom, I'm going to be, this is going to be one of the most like happiest moments of wrestling this year, or whenever it happens, if it happens, for me personally. So yeah, like it didn't work out. I don't know what Kairi could have done. Like during the celebration when Asuka was the week after we found out that Asuka won Money in the Bank, she became the champ because Becky left. And they had that celebration. Like, her English was incredible. So you can't say, well, I don't, the English or whatever else. Like, if you want to say you don't, Vince didn't get with the pirate gimmick or whatever else, okay, cool. Well, let's try something super realistic, like a MMA fighter coming out here. Oh, Shayna Baszler didn't work either, huh? maybe these aren't people.
Maybe they need like a super athlete that was a track and field, a blue chip track and field prospect. They can try that.
Oh, Bianca Belair doesn't work for you either. Maybe these are not people that don't translate to fans. Maybe it's just a poor fucking booker that are surrounded by yes men that just do whatever. They'll say just say and keep their job and stay in a position of power. Oh, by the way, check out those SmackDown and Raw ratings this week. Yeah, so anyway, we move on from there.
So, yeah.
Speaking of people with their contracts in WWE that are kind of weird right now, Rey Mysterio Jr., we have found out that he is working with WWE while not under contract, which would mean he is working under, an agreement that, like, you pay me what you've been paying me for per date, I will show up, or whatever, so we'll handle this, and you keep cashing my checks until whatever happens. Obviously this is Ray, this is WWE. They've been in business with each other for 20 years now at this point, or 19, something like
almost.
That. Yeah. So, I don't think either side's gonna do the other one bad, because like you fuck up Rey Mysterio Jr. you deserve all the bad karma in the world.
I mean they have fucked with him in the past, freezing his contracts and
Yeah, but I meant as far as like all of a sudden they're gonna pay him $700 like they did Ambrose on the way out. That's what I meant.
Look, that wouldn't shock me if they did that. But yeah. So Ray, when did Ray tell them I want $100,000 to show up and put Seth Rollins over?
I don't think he'd do that, but that's what Jeff Jarrett would do, because that's what Jeff Jarrett actually did with the China and IC belt. Back
Boy,
in
this could get real interesting, because James, you know what show happened in 2018, September 1st, I believe.
That would be All Out.
Yeah, or All In.
Sorry, I always mix those up. The All.
Do you remember who was in the who was in the last match of the night?
That would be Rey Mysterio Jr.
Oh, okay. So I just think things could get very interesting. And who is one of Rey Mysterio's greatest all-time opponents? Who is the current biggest star in AEW right now?
That would be Christopher Jericho.
Are you putting
Yes, 2 + 2 = 4. Yes.
So,
obviously it's not as simple as that, but they're easy dots to be connected to this. Yes.
Yeah. So I will just hold out hope that eventually.
Look, the show. Who also, along with all that, the guys that are responsible that were at the helm of that All In show in Jericho, they all wrestle on what television station, Rich?
They wrestle on Turn Network Television, which is the same station that
Rey Mysterio National Stardom, National Wrestling Stardom. Yes. It's all. It seems like it's like real. It's poetic almost.
Hey Ray, go to AEW and get treated like a legend, and then retire with dignity. Do it for me.
Obviously, the holdup is how far
Dominic.
Right, Dominic. That's pretty much it. Right.
Bring him too.
It would be funny as fuck. It would be funny. I don't think Ray would do this, right? But I think it would be funny if he got his son on TV for a few months over the last 2 years, and then he takes him to I don't think he'd do that, but it would be funny. I think honestly though, because of the situation they are with and how bad they are with Mexican talent, as far as pushing them and everything, they're always gonna go back to Ray. Ray gonna be 55. Ray gonna be 55 a decade from now, and they'll still be trying to go back to Ray.
Ray gonna be looking like Mil Mascaras at the 1997 Royal Rumble, and they still gonna be trying to roll him out there.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm getting at, right? Except obviously, Ray will do jobs like Mil Mascaras,
right?
Yeah. But
Mil Mascaras eliminated himself from that Royal Rumble,
right? Yeah, no yob,
correct.
So. That is the only thing that I believe from Bruce Pritchard out of his mouth ever. That's the only thing. No y'all. That's it.
Yeah, because there's so many examples.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, it's funny because in a way, they're about to do the Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio match that they promised for us the same week on Raw, the same week they went to Fox. Right, where they promised us this, but Brock Lesnar came out and beat up Rey Mysterio, so we didn't get that match, and now we're finally going to get this match, 10 months later, maybe, but we found out that because it's going to be at Extreme Rules, and it is being dubbed as an eye for an eye match. Rich, what the fuck do you think this is going to be?
Oh man, So I saw an eye for an eye match earlier this year with Moxley and Santana.
But it was no. That's what we called it, as a joke. That wasn't actually, but it wasn't.
No, it was the name of it.
It was building up, but it was. But what was this? Was it specific? Was it?
No.
Sorry, was there a specific?
It was a nickname for the match.
That's what I'm saying. That was just what do you call it? It's like
Moxley, Santana, an eye for an eye.
Right. Yeah, that's how you hype the match. It's the Hell in a Cell match, WrestleMania 28. They call that the end of an era.
End of an era, right? Same deal.
Yeah, it's just a name just to help the hype, the build for the match.
So this is supposed to be the stipulation, an eye for an eye.
Right.
Okay.
So what is that? So what the fuck does that even mean? Is it gonna be a first blood match except for the eye?
You ever seen The Crow?
Years ago, I don't remember it.
So the deal with it was the bad guy who was dating his own sister. Yes, they were into that. So the evil villain was dating his sister, and his sister would collect people's eyeballs. that would and use like this hook to like pluck them out or whatever, and that was her thing. And she would always tell people how like the beautiful eyes they have, and get the eye essentially.
So there was a woman that in a movie, obviously, in her whatever. That's weird.
Yeah,
very, very weird.
I watched The Crow way too many times. Since I was a kid.
Was it because of Sting?
No, ironically, like because that came out like way before Sting. Like I don't know what it was like, but like I don't know. I was allowed to pretty much watch anything I wanted when I was a kid.
Oh my god!
It was just like a scary movie. So I was like, oh, Brandon Lee. It was actually because of Bruce Lee. I was like, oh, it's Bruce Lee's son. Because I was real into Bruce Lee as a kid. So I'm like, oh, Bruce Lee's son's in this movie. Okay, yeah, Brandon Lee and whatever. So. Yeah, so that was wild.
Yeah, speaking of being a kid and watch stuff you're not supposed to see, like we had a room in our house where basically it was a TV in there, there's furniture, we called it a TV room, and it's on my side of the house or whatever else. My mom's bedroom's on the other side of the house. So like she goes to sleep or whatever else, like I would be a little badass and would get up out of my bed and go watch TV. So I would go to like HBO when I was a kid, and I'm like, 10 or 9 or whatever else. So naturally you go to HBO and it's like a Sunday night, so you know what that means. Oz is on. Oz is on. So like I think a lot of the reasons why like I pretty much like stayed out of trouble was like I was a kid terrified, like, oh my god, in prison, everyone gets raped every 15 minutes. I can't do this. I can't do this.
At all.
I can't. Yeah, so yeah, like, yeah, anyway, I guess that's...
Well, there's one more thing. There's one more, there's a couple more things. Oh, yeah. Well, this ties into the next thing, because Evolve no longer is a thing. So, I guess, go to Candy Card first, then we'll go to Evolve.
Well, I mean, it's more your story, but she showed pictures with dates and times that she was getting harassed by people online and having her story criticized and scrutinized. So she hit people with timestamps. Say like, you said that, people are saying that like I'm some type of liar and
stalker.
And he went, and that's how you know that it was like, this is some nonsense. Like, anybody can say they went to a fucking police officer and say that they asked and consider getting a restraining order. Nothing in that report or nothing in that statement from that offer or that lawyer that Riddle hired say anything about like there was a restraining order. It was always we considered or we talked about getting, but we never got one. Okay, so what does that mean for me in this situation? So back to the lecture at hand. She puts out pictures of like. Yes, their relationship, obviously, like which like make mind-boggling me because like she had already posted pictures of like Mrs. Riddle reaching out to her, asking stuff about it. So it's like, what more do you want? Like, do you want video?
And it was crazy because like she put out a picture of them kissing, right? So somebody was like, "Nah, that's not Riddle. His hair ain't even like that." So she's like, "Oh, really?" And then she put a second picture of them like. Originally the first one was them kissing, and then the next one was them looking directly at the camera together or whatever, and it was just like these people just full on like harassing this woman still for weeks over what? Like over Riddle? Really? Like we not willing to throw out Matt Riddle? Like I understand like Riddle's a great wrestler, right? But he's just a great wrestler. He's just a great wrestler. There's a million great wrestlers.
Like, I mean, even if you think he could have been the next guy, which like, I thought it, in a competent structure, he could have been. But it's like, so he's a rapist. What else do you?
Yeah.
What else is there to talk about? What else is there to discuss?
Like I understand why you're trying to hope he's not a rapist, but like harassing that woman and telling her she's lying isn't like gonna help. You should probably just watch and see what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, like I Riddle was one of the ones that hurt the most when it came to all this stuff that came out over the last, was that 2-3 weeks ago? But it's like, all right, like, what is my hurt compared to Candy Cartwright's?
Exactly.
I gotta let that shit go. It is what it is.
Yeah. So I would probably like, just keep your eyes open on that situation because it looks like it's not going away as much as WWE is trying to make it go away.
Yeah. So you mentioned Evolve.
Yeah, Evolve was finally purchased by WWE this week, and you would think that their shows are probably going to end up on the network sooner or later. I'd be very interested in going back and trying to watch some of those and see some of the matches from different people that came through there over the years,
like Gargano and Keith Lee.
Keith Lee, Ricochet was there. A lot of people became stars involved. Riddle, Keith Lee.
Well, I knew Riddle. I was specifically leaving him out because of
right. JD Drake, just more people that are out there.
Him and Spurs match was awesome that we saw. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And then it's just like it leaves a big like kind of hole in the scene because a lot of these companies now have like contracts and TV to some extent. Evolve kind of occupied, I would say, like one side of the coin from like PWG is one side and Evolve is the other side of the coin. PWG is like your all-star game, but Evolve, you start getting booked there and it could be your launch pad to go to WWE. It could be your launch pad to go anywhere else really. And it morphed into its later years into like this thing that people didn't recognize or respect really anymore. But their houses started doing better. They started, integrating the NXT stuff into it, and it's just it kind of sucks to see a promotion go out of business. But I mean, if it was going to land anywhere, the writing was on the wall, and it ended up doing it.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like before the pandemic happened or whatever else, like last year when there were talk of the network was going to start buying out indies and putting them on the network, like that was the first one everyone like knew was going to be one. Like there was talk of obviously like stuff like Progress or Rev Pro or I'm trying to think of American shows besides like maybe more or less like the whole WWE network, or whatever else, and maybe even probably not CZW. That wouldn't look well on the portfolio, but like this was one that was like, oh yeah, that Evolves a lot. Like the whole Gabe Sapolsky whole thing, like he was on the payroll with WWE as a consultant. Like that was, we knew what it was. Like that's part of the reason why, like the thing a few months ago. But between Gabe and David Starr was a thing. Is like your feeder system. Like stop pretending you're not and start paying these dues. Like granted that was words that were spoken from a rapist, but they were true nonetheless.
Man, what boy? If only Gabe knew that, he could have just ended this man's life.
Remember, he put out a post where he like tore into him for like multiple tweets, and he deleted at the end or whatever else. But like, if he did know that, sheesh.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, and also just quick note, like. WWE is caught up to the times. Like masks are now more or less mandatory at WWE shows, so good for them.
Wonderful. And they're fining people if they're not wearing masks, I hear.
Yeah, which like I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Yeah. If the idea is you need to wear masks and they're mandatory, like we will make this punishable by like we'll go into your check, and like I'm fine with that.
Going into their check, going into our listeners' checks. You already know what time it is, James.
Oh, God.
You just got to have it on deck. Stand by. Manscaped 3.0. That's what this the sponsor of this show is. And, every week I try to come back on this show with a creative way to talk to you guys about Manscaped. And I think about the the talking points that they give us, and it's just like the best thing to do is try it yourself. Honestly, it's crazy because it's very premium. Like the battery's going to last 90 minutes. It's not the 1.0. It's not the 2.0. This is the 3.0. It is water resistant. There is a light on there, so you cannot mess up. Even if you try, you could mess it up, but that's why there's a guard on there. There's a 7,000 RPM motor in there with quiet stroke technology. James, have you ever tried, the quiet stroke technology? I remember being a young guy in my younger days and and doing. Yeah. So I won't go into it.
I'm sorry. Are you asking me about my quiet stroke technique? Is that what you're asking?
The quiet stroke technique, because it goes with the quiet stroke technology.
I don't think that we're close enough for me or close enough as friends for me to talk to you about that kind of shit. I think I'm good. I think we're good.
Look, if you guys are listening to me talk about this right now, I want you guys to experience it firsthand yourself. Get rid of that stuff that's down there. I'm telling you, it's only going to just make you more cool, more free, and it's only going to be less of a problem for your partners. Now, they told us they sent these boxes. I've been using this thing, and it's amazing, flat out. And you're going to get 20% off. 20%. That's a lot. That's 1 out of 5. And free shipping with the code SUPLEX at manscaped.com. And one more time, and I'll say it for you guys. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SUPLEX at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code word SUPLEX. Remember, that's power right there. So let's get into
let's talk about
show
Wednesday
reviews.
Shows, man. Just before we go show by show, what were your overall? Because you actually watched NXT this week.
Look at me being responsible, and not just
relying on James to basically do NXT then now forever,
right? And just chime in with jokes and different things, breaking down booking. And man, I watched the show this week. Wow.
Yeah. So overall thoughts on Wednesday wrestling in general this week?
It was okay. I think I saw people going nuts over the shows. They were these great shows, and I was they were cool. It was okay.
I think a lot of it comes down to if you bought into the hype of the Fyter Fest stuff, and you bought into the fact that how hard they went into with the triple threat match from last week on NXT, trying to come up with trying to basically they man created hype, right? And that's all, they really built this hype up in a hurry to try to compete, and then threw on the Great American Bash thing to compete with Fyter Fest. And I could absolutely see it being fair to being underwhelmed by these two really good shows. I could, because you thought you were about to get Takeover versus pay-per-view AEW. I can see that, yeah.
I was really excited for Fyter Fest because, I went to Fyter Fest last year, and that was one of my favorite shows they did last year. And it was oh, okay. It was kind of just a juiced up Dynamite, and Dynamite's pretty good itself anyway. So it wasn't it was this huge improvement, but it was still a good show overall. And NXT was it kind of just flew by. There was a couple things on there I was okay, but I think overall it was cool.
Yeah, I agree with you. Those are two shows that I give 7.5 out of 10s to. These aren't shows that are I wouldn't necessarily consider these to be some of the best shows of the year, or shows that can compete with top-notch pay-per-views this year. I just wouldn't go that far. But I guess we can just go into it. So you can go ahead and start with AEW, Rich.
Yeah, so AEW Fyter Fest. So they opened up with MJF coming out He had a dope robe on. Underneath, he had these pink tights on. It looks like he was straight out of the fucking 80s. It was excellent. Cuts a promo, basically talks about, there's a ratings war, and what do you do when you're in the ratings war? Yes, right. You got to send out me, MJF. So do we go to MJF for the loss?
Yes.
James, or
he's the one. He's the only one that spoke about it. So hold it.
Yeah. So, but he started talking about Jungle Boy and said Jungle Boy is actually living off trust fund money. All this shit is cap. He talked about the dinosaur and everything like that. But we got into the tag match, and this was fucking excellent. Like, this is probably my favorite match of the night. This was anytime Jungle Boy and MJF are in there together, it's awesome. Wardlow's a future superstar. It looks like he's just like got the juice, and Luchasaurus just he's a good Luchasaurus, like normal. This was awesome. It was a lot of quick tags, a lot of quick like athletic stuff. There was some Canadian destroyers in there on Canada Day, which was awesome. And they ended up getting the win off of a MJF and Wardlow miscommunication, and Wardlow took the pin, and this was where Jungle Boy actually kind of got a win over MJF, but you still kind of protect that to not let him beat MJF, because that's like, I wouldn't let him beat MJF for like 5 years.
5 years? God damn. I really enjoyed the match. It's probably my third favorite. Yeah, it is my third favorite match of the night. But I mean, there was good competition at the top. Like, when we talk about, we felt that these shows were a bit overrated to where the hype was. Like, don't get it wrong. Like, the top 4 or 5 matches from both of these shows combined, like, absolutely rocked. But it just, but yeah. Anyway, back to the match. Like, you talk about Canadian Destroyer. Like, you ain't do enough justice to that Canadian Destroyer. Like, it was basically like he leaped off of one of the Big's backs and then hit the two in order to hit it. I was like, yo, that was. I mean, it's just a little thing, but it made it that much more impressive that that they had the thought to, like, let's add to a Canadian Destroyer to make it a little more devastating.
Wardlow Swanton.
Yeah, Wardlow Swanton was great. Was that the first time he did or second time? I feel like he did.
Second time. He did it in the cage match.
That's what I was thinking. Yep. Yeah, so that's another match that I have on my list of recommended matches that need to be rewatched this year. I absolutely had that match as, like, I would recommend this, but I can't give you a star rating.
On Cage Match, that show, the Atlanta show, is like the single, I think that's like on par with, it has a rating like it's a Wrestle Kingdom. Like, that show was incredible. That was like in the square in the middle of that stretch of, like, because that's TV. The same. Yes. Yep. That's the same one that had that great battle royal with the tag teams. It had Kenny and Hangman against the Lucha Brothers on that same show, and the cage match. Like, that shit was great. Like, that's a legit show of the year contender. But,
for TV, definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the best episode of TV this year. I had to think about that.
Look it up. It's up there.
Yeah. So, I thought, just more Wardlow and Luchasaurus and more Jungle Boy and MJF. Like, those are two. Those 4 have great chemistry, and those 2 pairs have great chemistry. And I think it's a little too soon to, like, really be teasing this Wardlow and MJF turn that early this often. But whatever. Like, maybe they, if they cool down on it, they don't have to do it immediately. But maybe Wardlow is getting over so much that they feel like they have to. I don't know.
Like anything else, well, we don't. It's crazy because we don't really know. Like, there's not a crowd there reacting to it. I assume it would come off well.
The only thing, like, and Tony Khan has talked about this, is like he goes off of crowd reaction. He goes off of, obviously, the Google Trends and the internet traffic, and then, like he said, one of the things that's a real testament to this is, like, the merch sales or whatever else. So, like, I don't know what I don't even know if Wardlow even has merch. Do you know that? He should.
No, I don't. I think he might have a shirt.
Okay. But, I mean, like, depending on, seeing how it's going with him so far, like, I don't know his age. How old is he again?
think it's 31.
31. Like, he's somebody that's going to get a run eventually. Like, Luchasaurus looks healthier for the first time in a while. Like, obviously, you know, compared to, I mean, or actually last couple weeks, he kind of feels more like how he was before he like hurt his groin or his hamstring, can't remember. But like, it feels like he's rounding back into form. So, you know, I don't know what this means for as far as a program or whatever else, but like, it was a fun ass match.
Yeah. So Lance Archer and Joe Janela had a pull apart.
Yep.
So Sonny Kiss broke them up, so they're building up their match.
Janela never get his shirt off.
Then Hikaru Shida and Penelope Ford, they got a hype video. I really like the hype video they did for it. Actually, like, made it feel big. And then we got a title match. Shida defeating Penelope Ford. This was another really good match. I think people liked it a lot more than both of us did. But I rewatched it a second time, and I actually, the first time I watched it, I bought the near fall when she reversed the Falcon Arrow pin into a pin. I bought that originally. Okay. So, and then it was only better on the rewatch. But do I think this is a 4-star match? Fuck no. Maybe it's a 3.5. Like, I think I said like 3.5 at the time. But yeah, like, I thought it was a solid defense for Shida. Like, she looked aggressive and angry, and Penelope Ford is actually putting some credibility with, you know, her wrestling and her athleticism. And, you know, I saw what they were trying to do. Like, she's rounding into form. Yeah.
So this is gonna be a 2-part thing. Like, I thought it was a good match. It's some match that I give someone between 3.25 to 3.5 to. I currently do not have it on my recommended match list, and my match list goes, I'll give anything that's basically like 3.5 and doesn't have a fuck finish. Like, I'll put it on there. But yeah, I just thought it was a fine match. I guess the thing for me is, like, I never for a second bought that. Or bought the Falcon Arrow gets turned into a reverse roll up, because it's like I see those kind of roll ups in Stardom all the time. So like, I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna kick. Like, and I didn't buy it, and there was never a second in the match where I thought Shida was actually going to lose. So I don't know. As far as like Penelope, but it was a good match. But like, I think people are like going up for this match really high, even though it does not deserve that. But is it time for the second discussion?
I was gonna say, are they trying to make Penelope Ford happen? Well, like, are people trying to will this into being a thing right now?
I believe. Fuck it. What got me on this was I had heard Meltzer basically gush all over this woman and her performance in this match, and I'm sitting there watching, just like, the performance in this match, like, you're gushing over is Penelope Ford's. This was one of the good old carry jobs, my guy. Like, this was a win for match layout in you know, a veteran taking you, grabbing you by the neck and carrying you to the finish line.
I watched it from a match layout standpoint, and they say that Kenny works closely with the women a lot. So I don't know if he was responsible for this, but you can see like the twists and turns that come in the match. Sound like they could have his fingerprints on it, but I don't know that. Rich,
here's the thing. Any singles match between two people in Stardom that like have more than like 5 minutes of experience, that's their match, right? Obviously, there's no, there's no ref stuff, and there's no kendo stick stuff with.
There's no Kip Sabian.
Yeah, there's no Kip Sabian. But aside from that, that's the same match you see every 4 times a week. With Stardom running 2 shows a week.
It's a visibility, man.
Right, but I'm just like, do you think? I'm thinking to myself, watching, like, is your bar so low for like American women's wrestling, Dave Meltzer, that you like? The fact that she like didn't spit up on her bib is like, oh my god, a cause for celebration. Like, they talked about like, look at her potential. I was like, I was like, okay, so like, all right, let me see how many matches she's had. She's had like 200 and almost like 225 matches. I'm like, For an American woman, that's some experience. When was her first match? 2015. Okay, so she's been wrestling for 5 years. How old is she? She's 27. What is the hype about? If you want to say she's super hot, so you can sell a bunch of merch because she's super hot, and she can, not, embarrass her, and she can have good matches, not embarrass herself in the ring, then I guess, but it's like, but aside from that, but like that performance in the ring, that didn't, nah.
It struck me when I was listening to Dave's analysis how he can understand the athleticism here, but he struggles to.
Oh, with Bianca Belair?
Yeah, he struggles to identify why that's such a positive there.
Yeah. Another thing is like, did she do anything in that match on watching the second time around? Is that anything that's like that Bianca Belair doesn't do like on a regular basis every time you've ever seen her wrestle?
Like the Matrix thing, that's probably the only thing. And I think if Bianca Belair tried that she could fully do that.
All it is going to a bridge. She can do that.
Yeah, so I thought it was a creative spot to get off a dropkick, but
what do you think of the stunner after she ducked out?
That looked bad. Like it was like she lost her footing or something. I don't know what happened, but
like I feel like I watched it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm tripping or whatever else or whatever. Or watched it the first time. The first time
we talked to Jeremy too, and he thought pretty much the same thing. Like it was all right, but it wasn't no.
Yeah, like he gave a shit 4 stars. I'm like, look, man, like I don't really want to get into arguing four stars with Meltzer and like because it's just like balls and strikes or whatever. But it's like he's the only person, or not the only person, but like there are a few people that it's just like
no, there were a lot of people with this match specifically. Like
I guess
I think we're in a minority on this, and you know what? I'm comfortable with that. Like,
yeah, I'm fine with it because, like, I
know what I saw. Like,
yeah, and then like you saw Sasha and EO this week, right?
I saw it. I may shock you. I thought these were like the same like level of match. Like, I thought it was like a 3.5.
I thought personally that we'll get into it, but like, nah, I
thought that was supposed to be some dream match, but it wasn't.
Oh, my whole thing was like, I gave it 4 stars. I thought that the work throughout it worked. I don't know. We'll get into that, but like, quick story. I gave it 4 stars. I thought the work on it was excellent. I thought that they worked a pretty good pace for a WWE match that went long, and the Bayley stuff annoyed me. But on the second time watching, the Bayley stuff annoyed me less, like, because it wasn't that intrusive to getting in the way of the match. I thought it was a standard WWE women trying to have or not trying to, women having a great championship level match, except it wasn't a championship match and whatever. But yeah, I just so weird to me that I'm watching. I'm just like, I don't see it in like her offense. Just looks so unbelievable. Like she has a ways to go, but like but but it's hard to like impress upon people like how not impressed I was on her without sounding like I'm shitting on her, and I'm trying not to. So like for me it was I'm in a weird space. I'm trying to explain it like she's miles away, but like she's not bad either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like another solid defense for Kairi Sane. Like, yeah, like
that's the person you should have been. People should have been impressed with, because it's like she went out there and had a physical match with a woman that was not physical with her. You know how hard that is to do.
Yeah. Like she's having an awesome year. Just up and down, literally from January 1st. So. Taz did the Taz technique with Moxley's double arm DDT. Then we got Cody against Jake Hager for the TNT Championship. Cody came out with a Great American Bash theme T-shirt. I loved it. I thought it was the perfect level of like not over. Like he didn't need to break a throne for this one. All he had to do was just put it on a shirt and just not even mention it, and everybody knew it. Got the message. Like if you're paying attention to what's going on, you got the message.
How many emails do you think were sent between him or somebody in legal before he actually got approval for that shirt to wear on TV?
If they're not selling it, then he can wear it, I would think.
Oh, I figured they were selling it.
I don't think it's for sale. We would have seen that.
Okay, all right.
But Hager came out wearing like blue draws. I'm going to shock y'all on this one. Most of this match, I didn't have a problem with it. Like, it was okay. And then the finishing sequence, like 6 different things happened, and it totally fell apart. And I was like, "What the fuck? What happened? I don't understand." Like Cody did probably the cleanest top rope cutter that he's done in a while. He almost fell. He had to balance himself, but it was kind of clean. This man's not an athlete, but he wants to be, James. He wants to be. So, okay, this is the finish. I have it written down here. So, Hager took the ref. Catalina then slapped Cody.
Right.
Hager went to the ankle lock. Arn Anderson got in the ring and took the ref. Dustin Rhodes runs out, and then he punches Jake Hager. Cody then goes for the crossroads. Hager blocks it. Hager hits a Uranage and floats over for the arm triangle. Cody leans up and pins Jake Hager. I had no idea of the second half of that paragraph happened in real time. It was like, ha, 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 what? It was just like, how many things can distract us from the wrestling going on? And then they pull the wool over our eyes to protect Jake Hager, to roll him up for whatever reason. Why are we protecting Jake Hager? I don't know. And then Cody sneaks out the back door with the win. This was the mid-man special right here. 2.75.
I just give it 3 and call it a day. I
ducked this a whole star.
Oh, okay.
For that finish.
Okay, I wasn't that high on it. Honestly, I think the thing for me was the wrestling that they had and they did was all good, but it kept getting lost in all of the bullshit that was happening around with the people are cornering, whether it was
and there was all bullshit leading up to that too.
Right. It's okay, man, Cody is a babyface. I know we make jokes and talk about how he's really a heel or whatever else, but he is a babyface, right? So what I don't need with my babyface that has a babyface manager is my babyface's manager doing heel shit. Get out the fucking way. I don't need Arn Anderson trying to bow up to an MMA fighter. That's fucking ridiculous in 2020. I don't feel like I should have to say this. When I understand that they set it up to where Hager looked like he was going after, or actually he did go after Arn. Just don't do that. So then, from the rest of the match on, Arn is cheating for Cody.
Man, Jose Lothario ain't never do this.
Say again?
So Jose Lothario ain't never do this.
So the second time around, they end up outside. He is going to throw Cody. He's going to Irish whip Cody into the post. Arn Anderson gets in front of the post. I'm sorry, whoever the ref is, throw his ass out. He's got to go. He's interfering. And then with Catalina stepping on Cody, then the slap you mentioned before, I'm just y'all are getting in the way of whenever they actually do get back in the ring and wrestle. It's good, or they wrestle on the floor. It's been good. You are not heightening this by making me think. Look at the weave of this. This is no, y'all are in the way. This match would be much better served. They just had a straight wrestling match without this bullshit out there. And then the finish is I don't hate the finish. I understand the finish. The finish is a lot, to be honest, the finish is 1,000 times better than what they did with Darby and Cody the last time, with he gets fucking tilted after landing on, but yeah, it's just, for me, it's it just left me just I hope next time when they have their eventual rematch, all assholes from outside the ring are barred. Straight wrestling match. Because they'll have a good match then. Unless they, they decide to, not stick to the path that they had in the match just now. But, like, their match the wrestling they were doing was way better than what I was expecting. So.
Same.
Yeah, so,
like, that finished, like, they almost did it. And then, like.
Yeah.
They did it with all the bullshit, and then like that last finishing sequence, it was just like, huh? That's like when it's the same feeling when Vince McMahon like brought Charlotte to the ring, like to put her in the match. It was like, where did this come from? Out of nowhere.
Right.
So they played a Darby Allin skateboarding video.
The moonsault onto the skateboard was raw.
Then we got Orange Cassidy coming out, and Jericho, I forgot to mention, he was on commentary, a complete cartoon character all night.
Yes.
Just hamming it up all the way.
Yes.
More than normal. It was like, at first.
You noticed that too?
Yes.
At first I was getting annoyed with him.
Same. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, is he like going to the point of no return? Like, and then he like kind of toned it down.
Right, because like it was a 4-man booth, so it's like that's very hard. So it's like Jericho's basically operating like it's still him and just Shivani, like when they were doing the Georgia shows. And it's like it can't be this right now. It just cannot be this right now, Jericho. You have to let him. You have to let JR talk.
Yeah.
You have to let Excalibur talk without you burying him if he says one comment like every single time.
So we got Private Party versus PNP. Private Party came out with Matt Hardy. Zaya Cassidy was awesome in this match. There was a lot of dives and this was okay. This wasn't a I always feel like these guys have a better match in them.
Right.
Like get this pairing.
Right, like in that tribute match they had a few months ago, or actually probably the end of last year, like I felt like that match was better than this one. I'd have to rewatch it, but like because there were less mistakes, like there were botches in this match, but like it's weird that they haven't given us a better match. They've had 2 opportunities, and like both times the matches have been at best just good.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. You figure like this would be like a super like rivalry you could rely on in the future, and it's like I wouldn't rely on it yet. I just wouldn't.
Yeah. But Private Party ended up getting a win. So Inner Circle 0-2 for the night. And then and of course Sammy's not here, so that's another L. So they hit the gin and juice. And then Jericho and Orange Cassidy had a pull apart brawl. Whatever. Then they preview next week's show. Basically, Taz came out for a promo, and this was excellent.
Oh yeah,
like everything else. So Moxley, they announced that Fight for the Fallen will take place in 2 weeks. So they moved that match to that. So they're not going into that next week they're going into that without the title match, and it also like I don't think this was the plan, but like by them doing Fight for the Fallen like 2 weeks from now, it's like, all right, now what you gonna do NXT? What you gonna do now, Hunter and Vince? Yep. So are we gonna get NXT Slamboree? Are we gonna get NXT Beach Blast? Are we going to get NXT Sold Out? NXT Starrcade? Or can we just pull that out early? Can we do Halloween Havoc in July?
Remember, they use Starrcade for the main roster so that they can like go to like those NWA conventions and make sure that they don't spend money there.
What's more counter programming? like this is a Turner Network television event, so they can use Starrcade if they want. Just move Halloween Havoc up. Just
Halloween
move
Havoc in the summer.
Just move Fall Brawl up.
Oh my god! Nah. The best one is they pull out Hog Wild. That would be fucking hilarious.
Oh my god! And then have like motorcycles out there and shit. Triple H will pull out a motorcycle real quick.
Yeah, Super Brawl. Pull out Super Brawl.
Super Brawl. What else did they have? Uncensored. NXT Uncensored. We could do that.
Oh my God! No, you cannot. Please don't.
NXT Spring Stampede.
Spring Stampede. You keep pulling out these shit that are not like seasonal. Oh man,
shit's ridiculous, bro. Like, what else did they have? But World War III. They could pull that out.
No. If they come out, if I tune into the. Obviously, the PC normally has 7 rings in it, but if I tune into an NXT and they have 3 fucking rings in there, I'm like, nope, this ain't the week for me, dude. World War III sucked. I'm sorry, it did. I can't go back to this. I can't.
So the World War III that I liked was the 1996 one. Everything else can just
Who won that year?
The Giant.
Oh God.
But it was Lex Luger fighting the whole NWO by himself, and the crowd was unglued.
Okay.
So, and then it was like at the end, it was like Guerrero, Mysterio, Luger, DDP, and like one other guy. And then on the other side of the ring was the NWO, and it was like, that shit was lit. I might rewatch that tonight.
That's one of the things that I do enjoy about like NXT War Games is like they keep up the WCW tradition of like we have multiple rings like in the building. Like every singles match will be in a different ring. Like I do enjoy that.
Yeah.
I do enjoy that.
Yeah. So Taz came out and said he's not upset that the match was moved back a week. He said Moxley said he didn't want to come to Fyter Fest out of fear of the health of the staff and crew. Taz says that sounds good, but he knows Moxley's been tested time and time again at home, and he says negative. He said the only thing Moxley's positive is the chicken shits. He talked about you can come here and get tested because AEW doesn't run a sloppy shop, which was like the gut check there.
Yeah,
and he said that Cage going to take the title from Moxley's dumbass ass.
He literally said dumbass, yes.
Best on interviews 2020. Taz?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Like, how do I say this? If we were to have a comeback wrestler of the year,
this man's like comeback wrestler of the decade, like 2 decades. I will put Taz on there. Now that he's back on the scene, I would put him next to like Hiromu Takahashi. Like that's like obviously Hiromu would win the award because like he's he might have like he might have a better 5 best matches than anyone else in the world this year at this point, but like. This is like one of the rare like instances in a few where I'm just love so much as that's going on with it. Where it's like I really have no notes on how you make this better, given what they decided to do with this. This has been excellent. I love this so much. Like Brian honestly, Cage standing in the background doing the shoot guns with his fingers, like just
like. This has been so well done. I don't know how hot it is for the general audience or whatever else, but this has been so well done that if like. They had decided we're not going to do this at Fight, or we're not going to make a Fight for the Fallen show in 2 weeks and put that there. If we were going to somehow stretch this all the way to All In or All Out, All In 2, I'd have been like, I'm okay with it. This has been awesome. I've been okay with it.
Yep.
But they're still going to give us a match, so whatever. Like I have no notes. I love this thing. I love it so much.
Then we got the AEW World Tag Team Championship match in the main event spot. So they did end up main eventing. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus the Best Friends. And it was the Best Friends. I thought we were going to get some pay-per-view level match. They ended up only giving these guys 15 minutes. I thought they were going to give them like 20 or 30 even.
Right, and then Taz came out and that changed.
Yep. So I didn't quite get the match I wanted here. I thought it was okay. I would probably say like 3.75. But, Best Friends, they got dropped off by Trent's mom. I thought that was pretty funny. But, this wasn't any like right home match. It was like the rest of the Best Friends matches in the promotion. It doesn't quite, hit the level you want. with the best friends in there, but Kenny and Paige get another defense. What'd you think of this match, James?
I never bought for a second that they could win, and I think that hurt it. Quite honestly, this might have been like the first time I ever saw a Kenny Omega match where like I went and grabbed my phone in the middle of it. I think it is. I thought it was a good match. I probably give it 3.5. But yeah, it just left me cold. And like another part about it is like the crowd died in the middle of it. It was weird. You don't see that with like the quote unquote plants and at ringside at AEW show in this era of heels on one side, baby faces on the other side. Like it was that was kind of strange to me. But yeah, it was a good match, but it was a really good match.
He got in and he tried to go
match at all.
Kenny tried to go crazy at the end. Like he hit a bunch of dragon suplexes and stuff, and was moving fast, but it was just like almost too little, too late.
Yep.
I don't know. Like this one just wasn't.
Wasn't
there for me. So
another thing is like, I'm still not convinced that like Hangman has his win back 100% either. Like he was huffing and puffing it throughout the match too.
He ended up getting the pinfall because, of course. So he hit the buckshot lyric by itself. No last call on that one. But
what do you think of the post match?
Paige and Trent.
Oh, sorry,
I was going to get to that. I'd be interested in seeing Paige versus Trent in a singles match. I feel like that would have that Pac Hangman energy.
I would too. Like, I think honestly, like Trent's got to go solo at some point. But the thing is, like, I don't know what that means for Chucky T if you do that. Like, I don't know if you want him on TV if he's not in a tag team. So they're caught themselves in a dilemma there, and like we, in WWE, they already would have, they would have been plucked Chucky T or not Chucky T, but Trent and left Chucky T behind. But it's like in AEW, they don't really, they haven't done that yet. But so I don't know, like if they're going to come to when the rubber meets the road, what they're going to do, and are they going to have the heart to do it, and we'll see.
Yeah. I think there will be other things for since now they have 2 singles belts. You could make Trent challenge for the secondary belt. Mm-hmm. You can have Chucky T wrestle on Dark. You can do a couple things with him. But the post match, FTR came out there with beers and they were drinking during the main event, and they offered Paige and Kenny the beers, and Kenny famously doesn't drink. This has been well established. And Paige, of course, does drink. That's also been well established. So Paige starts guzzling the beers, but Kenny says he fakes it like he's going to drink a beer, and he's like, "Nah, I'm just going to pour this shit out because I don't do this." Kenny drinks O'Doul's NA. But yeah, so that's basically like a... You can't pour a man's beer out. That is a fighting tactic. So they came out there, and the Bucks ran to the ring, and all of a sudden on 2 sides, like it was Kenny and the Bucks, and then Hangman and FTR. This was kind of an interesting visual here, but FTR just feels like corny.
I thought that whole interaction with everybody getting upset over a grown man pouring out a fucking beer that he just gave away anyway was just like lame as shit. Like, I am not ready to write off FTR / Young Bucks / Hangman and Kenny as far as like their feud, whatever feuds they have out of those 3 teams is going to suck. I am not even close to there yet, but I just felt like this is more of the stuff that I just thought was just like childish and petty, and like why like I did not buy into the Hangman, like how he got over, where it's like him being a passive aggressive bitch to the Young Bucks. I'm just like, what is this? Like, I didn't like it then, but like whatever, he got over, so it is what it is. But like this is just like, okay, You gave him a beer. You want to fight him because he poured the beer out? You gave him the beer. He's going to pour it down his gullet. Who gives a shit if it ended up on the ground? Who gives a fuck? I'm serious, who gives a fuck? And also the thing with Kenny is like, Kenny, another perspective is like, Kenny, just hold the beer, let it go off air. Whatever else. It's like, but either way, it's like both of them are behaving so childishly. And it's like, that I don't want to watch this. I don't want to see people fight over something this childish and petty, unless they're drunk. But they're not drunk. Like Kenny, so it's like whatever. I just like this. Like I can imagine that like causing a fight, a one-time incident. I cannot imagine this being something that you use to promote matches in the future. Like I just thought. So for me, it's like it's got to be more than this. So I'm willing to wait on this. But like for this little thing right here they did last night, it just left me like that ain't it for me. Nope. This is not Moxley and Cage at all.
I would wonder why Private Party wouldn't come out since they gonna actually fight him next week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know, but yeah, that was Fyter Fest. Like I said, overall it was a good show, but like
very good show.
It wasn't a pay per view. Like it wasn't. Nah, like this was. So hopefully next week will be better. And matches next week, of course, we got Kenny and Heyman against Private Party. The second time that they fought in a match, we're gonna have Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho, Joey Janela and Lance Archer, the Young Bucks and FTR will team up to fight the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers. That match should be phenomenal. And Nyla Rose, I believe, has an open challenge out there, and there is a 6-man tag with SCU and Brody Lee, Colt, and Stu Grayson, I believe. So,
Stu Grayson.
So, tell us about a Great American Bash.
Yeah, so show starts out with the 4-way elimination match for the number 1 contendership for the NXT Women's title. It is Tegan Nox versus Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai. Before the match starts, commentary puts over or points out that like Raquel Gonzalez is not by ringside because she has been ordered to stay in the back because they do not want interference. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, I love this, but in my mind, I also hate this because it's like, do it for every fucking match. I don't want to see interference, so don't. In certain times we can do it. There's nothing to keep you from keeping people backstage all the damn time. If you want interference, you have to run from the back to come interfere. I'm sorry. Like I can buy that more than like people to just like you watch multiple episodes, Raquel Gonzalez or any other fucking heater cheats in every fucking match and like just allow this shit to happen and they get title matches. I fucking hate that. Sorry, that's my own personal rant about why I fucking hate interference in wrestling. It's like because once you do all this interference, you say, well, you're barred this time. It's like bar them all the time into perpetuity until they're no longer wrestling for your promotion. Sorry. Okay. So anyway, match starts out and you have Candice going wild. It hurts me that like now that she's a heel, she no longer does the Cape Brada to the floor. She does this springboard, second rope springboard thing, which she's basically like splats on somebody. Cause she's a heel, she can't be flashy, I guess. Anyway, there's interactions between Candice and Mia because they hate each other's guts, obviously, because they've been doing the Garganos versus Gimmitless stuff. And there's also interaction between Candice and Tegan because Tegan is still torn on the fact that her friend is turned into a piece of shit over recent months. But they have not had a fight yet about it. So eventually Candice runs wild. Candice gets pinned. Typical main roster or typical WWE, elimination style stuff where like someone goes wild, they get the chance to shine, and they get beat. So then at that point, you have Dakota in the ring by herself, who has done a bunch of fuck shit to Mia and to Tegan. So they proceed to team up to beat the shit out of this heel. She deserves to get her ass beat. So at some point there's a miscommunication, or no, actually, Dakota gets her whoop so bad she's about to ring. So then you get Mia versus Tegan. Mia starts going in a spree of flips and offense, and is like, this is the first time I felt like in NXT, like where she didn't feel like, you know, she's still lingering from effects of her tearing her ACL all them years ago. And also another thing I pointed out, so the final three in this match were Tegan, Dakota, and Mia. That is 6 knees, and only 2 of them have not been blown out.
Damn.
So I had that thought. So Mia starts, you know, hitting moves, code reds or code blue because of her hair, and dives to the floor, and then at a certain point, you know, there was work understanding that like Tegan and Mia were going to basically dispatch Dakota, and then they were going to be those two be the final. Didn't happen. And Mia ends up getting rolled up after she went wild by Dakota.
She was weird because like Mauro Ranallo kept describing it during the match and then after a match as a miscommunication. It was like, nah, she just was like staring and just waiting to get rolled up. She was weird.
Right. Yeah, because Dakota was in way too late, so it made, when she got schoolboy from behind, it made her like the biggest geek. After like the whole purpose of her doing all the dives and flips, whatever, for her to get beat and like you're like, damn, you know, she was hot right now. She got her momentum completely snapped from under her, as opposed to like she looks like a geek, right? So then you end up getting Dakota and Tegan in the ring, and like they had a good ass match. That last third of the match, and at the end, Tegan's a better wrestler, so Tegan ended up pushing Dakota away. Hit her with I can't remember what her finish was, whatever she hit her with, but she ended up beating her.
The knee.
Yeah. So another thing to point out is, and I talked about this on the show I did with Amp on Thursday. After a double down, they ended up crawling up, using each other's bodies to get back to their feet to start fighting again, and like they use knee brace control. Like, you know, we talk about Okada and Keith Lee with the wrist control, but they got up with knee brace control, which I thought was a nice little touch given like what their feud has been like, and also why they were friends in the first place, or to NXT fans anyway. So Tegan gets the win. We don't know when her title shot will be, but I would like to point out that like they've had 3 matches or 4 matches, more or less, right? The first match, Tegan beats Dakota's ass and pins her. The second match, they have the street fight at the Portland Takeover, and that's when you get the Deus Ex Machina of Raquel comes out of nowhere and chokeslams Tegan through a table. So that's how Dakota wins. But the whole match, Tegan beat Dakota's ass. Then the cage match, Tegan beats Dakota's ass but loses at the end because of interference from Raquel. Then they had the number 1 contendership ladder match. Tegan beat Dakota's ass in that match but didn't win. Io won it, right? So, and then you have this match at the end where like Tegan beats Dakota's ass and wins. It's like this whole feud has been one-sided as hell, and the only time it has been one-sided is, or the only reason why anyone has wins is because of blatant interference.
Amazing.
Yeah. And like, you know, and you look at like Dakota is the same geek she always was, except she's a bad guy now because they needed a heel to beat. Yeah, so
those being breaks.
Yeah, we end up getting a promo after this from Damian Priest, and you'll be better at describing because I haven't seen this since Wednesday, but it was not good.
Bruh, he like looked in the camera and then was like, I am Damian Priest. Like, he might as well just have said it just like that. Like he sounded worse than Roman Reigns when he declared for the Royal Rumble. He sounded like a zombie. He was absolutely soulless. It was like, yo, never, and The Rock means never make him cut a promo again.
Not live.
Yeah, like, have him hold up. Can we get Sammy Guevara off of suspension and have him teach Priest how to make cards he can hold up? I prefer that.
Now imagining Damian Priest holding up signs and say, hit me up.
Right. Yeah, man. That bad. Very bad.
Okay, so then we get the tough white man match, Rich. Timothy Thatcher versus Orny Logan.
Appreciate everybody that reached out to ask about the tough white men and too. And then we had to kind of school some people on what, the criteria is for being a tough white man. It ain't strictly just because you know MMA.
Right.
It ain't strictly because you were a boxer.
Yeah.
It ain't strictly because of a look. It isn't like, it's an entire.
It's an energy thing. It's about energy.
Yeah.
It's about the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, there are some aesthetics that lend towards that, but ultimately we're talking about a vibe here. So match starts and they start trying to out-grapple each other. Lorcan is clearly no match for Thatcher as a grappler, but what he is better at, he's better at striking. So whenever he can get separation to get himself out of whatever predicament he's been put in by Thatcher, he unloads with chops or an occasional superplex, and then once he's able to kind of even the odds, then he's able to get back into going to the floor with him because he ultimately wants to prove that he's just as tough and good a grappler as Thatcher. But the thing is, Thatcher finds multiple ways to try to get out of holes, whether it's he had him in a short arm scissors, and like Thatcher tried to escape 3 different ways and then finally got out on the third way. But it just shows like this dude is a master of getting in and out of holes. So eventually, Thatcher, after the multiple times where you have Lorcan lighting him up with strikes or European uppercuts, Thatcher's like, I had enough of this. Give me your arm. He took his arm and he started putting his left arm in a bunch of different hellacious predicaments, from like Anaconda Vice looking stuff to Kimura's. He ended up putting him on a straight arm bar at one point. So he ends up hurting his Lorcan's left arm. So from there, Thatcher starts getting cocky and feels like, all right, I'm gonna start brawling. I'm gonna show you I can beat you not only at my hand, beat you at yours. Then he gets himself into a situation where he starts trying to go strike for strike with Lorcan, and Lorcan fires back after Lorcan's known for doing that big open face, or that big slap to the face. He slaps Lorcan in the face. Lorcan fires up. He starts tagging that man with slaps to the face, and he has momentum, and then all of a sudden, Thatcher on a final slap from Lorcan, he outpaces him kind of like Kenta, slaps him, then puts him in a sugar hold, a legitimate sugar hold, and the only way that Lorcan can find a way out is to try to fish hook with the left arm. The bad left arm is to fish hook Thatcher. Thatcher grabs the arm and then puts it in his finish, the Fujiwara armbar, and gets the win. I love this fucking match. Thoughts?
I liked it more than I thought I would from what I heard going into it. And, I'm not for all the fake MMA and all that shit. Like, niggas rolling around and, doing whatever they got to do before they actually get to the finish. But this actually, I actually like this one. That Thatcher looked fucking sadistic at the end of the match.
His face was great.
He has no front tooth, and he's missing hair, and he's ugly, and he's like, he just looks like
looks the part. Yes, he absolutely looks the part. He looks so ugly that, like, of course they do this nasty grinder of a badass. Yes,
and it's like that man works out like where there's one light in the room, like, and it's like a small light bulb that hangs above the room, and this man has nothing but functional strength, and like he's like ripped to shreds, like, and it just kind of made me wonder, like, all right, well, fuck, who does he like match up with, like, kind of long term, like, doesn't he have to like get a hold of this North American title like immediately?
I mean, him and Cross seem like they should be immediate players, given the way they pushed them and given the results. In my opinion, those are two people that need to be immediate players. Like, so either one of them, like, if they were going to be could be the next North American champion, and I wouldn't bat an eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like the thing that I like about Thatcher is, like, because of the Thatch can stuff, like, he has a character. He's not just bland, generic grappler guy. Like, he's a sadist. He takes pleasure in hurting people, right? And like, he can talk, right? So like, you can't play the whole, he's boring generic. It's like, this is like the quote unquote, this is like when we talk about people when they do character work or whatever else, is like, this is the good character work so far. So like, they're off to a good start with him right now.
Yeah, this is better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, you like how there was actually a story in it? Even though people are telling there's no story, they're just doing like hold porn. It's like, okay, whatever, man. Yeah, so after that, you get Rhea Ripley versus Aaliyah and Robert Stone. I'm not going to spend much time on this because it was a dumb company match.
Look,
yes, it was like 10 minutes or something. Like, yeah, it went way too long. Or not way too long, but it went like probably cut it down to 7. But like, it was a comedy match. The two idiot heels can't like get their shit together like enough to even pin her when they have her down the one time they have her down. And then Rhea at the end like just puts them in double clover leaves or stereo clover leaves. I will say that Robert Stone had a world championship tan on. Did you notice that?
Yes. Yes, this man came out here looking like he had the skin of bronze.
Look, if Sting had that kind of tan, he would have gone over 100% clean at Starrcade 97.
That would have been Eric Bischoff approved.
Yes, the Eric Bischoff approved tan. Yes. Yeah, another match I don't spend much time on unless you're finna bury it. Dexter Lumis versus Roger Strong.
Oh my God.
Okay. I am going to talk about the match as the match, and then I'll talk about the other stuff, the why the match does not work for me. I thought that I thought they did a pretty decent job with the strap match thing. But like, it just cannot reach a level to where like it is good, especially when it goes that long, went like 16 minutes or something like that, it through multiple commercial breaks, which means it probably went forever. But like, it just, I don't think you can do this match when you have somebody that can't sell. Like, I know you're going to say it's like, well, I just saw Daniel Bryan have a 3.5-star level match with Bray Wyatt at Royal Rumble, and I would suggest to you that like you need to put some respect on Daniel Bryan's name. Like, we're talking about one of the greatest wrestlers to ever live. No disrespect to Roddy. Roddy's a great wrestler, and I love Roddy. He's a wrestler's wrestler. But I think that when you have someone like Daniel Bryan, it's easier to believe that he is getting hurt and beat up really badly when it comes to this. And meanwhile, like when it comes to like he's the babyface selling the strapping, whereas like the babyface in this particular dynamic is Lumis, whose gimmick is to not sell or sell very, very little. He's only meant to sell like the things that were like things that could be near falls or devastating. He doesn't sell like simple like punches to the face, which is like it's death for a strap match gimmick, because the whole idea is, oh my God, these dudes are tearing each other's hides off. Look at the pain and anguish they're going through to try to beat each other. You can't get that across to watching this emotionally when you're watching this this Lumis match. So they either gotta drop this Lumis thing or lower it to where it's a prelim act. It cannot be a upper mid card act. It's not gonna work. It hasn't worked.
I'm just not buying that Roderick Strong is afraid of anybody or anything. I'm sorry. You're never gonna convince me that Roderick Strong, the Messiah of the Backbreaker, is definitely afraid of somebody. Right. It doesn't work.
Right. Now, for me, in the match, like, I do think that there was I do think there was a story in it. There absolutely was. Like, he welts his back up enough and hurts his back from beating from the strapping. And actually, one of the shots actually made, like, Lumis bleed out of his back. Which is like, how tough is he that he can commit to this no-selling gimmick while he's bleeding from the back? He tougher than Cody. Anyway, so he straps his back a bunch of times, and then he wraps his legs up, and then he puts him in a Boston Crab, which is like, he just hurt his dude's back, and then he puts him in Boston Crab. That works. He's been doing this a whole match. Good for him. But my problem, but like, it really hurt that like so much of it was one-sided. Like, it was like 60-minute match and
He's
like
beating the shit out of this man. Like
right.
just hit him with like right hands and big kicks and just in and out the ring and
really hurts that like Roddy almost never gets strapped. Like he doesn't get strapped until like it's 6-minute match. He doesn't get strapped until like minute 13 or 14 or something like that. So, you know, it's better than I thought it was gonna be because I thought it was gonna absolutely suck. It's better than I thought it was gonna be, but like for 16 minutes, it still was not. It wasn't no breeze to watch either. Now, you mentioned like my main thing as far as like the story of this, why I just cannot rock with this story. Roger Strong not only should not be scared of this dude because he's Roger Strong, he shouldn't be scared of this dude because he fucking wrestled him like a month and a half ago, and they had a competitive match back and forth, and then.
I think it was the trunk. Like, since he got put in the trunk, he ain't right.
But Rich, they put him in the trunk, and he put Bobby Fish in the trunk. You gotta take Bobby Fish off TV not selling any of this shit if Roger Strong is scared of it. If Roger Strong's scared of being thrown in the trunk, then Fish should be pissing himself, not be like, Roddy, you tripping, bruh, every single week. Why is Fish not scared?
This sounds like Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, we can.
I saw that video package build. I was like, this shit goofy as fuck. No, like this is like, and then you see Dexter Lumis do his entrance, and he walks on his hands when he gets in the ring. It's just like, no, like it, like no, I don't want to see it.
It's just like, do you want to see another like Undertaker 90s Undertaker Kane? It's like, no, we have evolved past the business of fucking psycho killers. If you want to make him a psycho killer, make another Tommaso Ciampa. Don't make another Undertaker Kane. We could do a lot more with a Tommaso Ciampa than Undertaker Kane from the 90s, where they just stalk and don't move slow as molasses. Like it ain't gonna work.
Like, and as Kevin Sullivan would say, this is the babyface?
That's another one. Yeah, that's another part. Like if you look at it from an objective story, is like one guy has bothered this other guy, and he kidnapped him, and he's do this. Oh, and one guy has to overcome his fears, and the other guy is the babyface. What?
Different, bro.
Yeah.
Different.
So, yeah, anyway, Lumis won, and I'm not even going to talk about the rest of the match. We've said our piece on it. But after that, we end up getting a video package to set up next week's match between Keith Lee, or title match between Keith Lee, title versus title match, actually, between Keith Lee and Adam Cole. And a lot of it was, I like the narrative framing of Keith Lee has been on fire since the NXT invasion.
That was a lot of liberal use of the word on fire, because there was a period where it was like, what the fuck are y'all doing with him?
I think that was more painted from the fact that they did nothing with him before this happened. Like, if you look at the progression, like, he did the stuff at Survivor Series weekend, and then like they immediately sent him towards the North American title. The only real blip of it is like the Finn Balor steals the pin in the triple threat match thing, whatever else. But like, I do get your point that like it wasn't exactly how they said it, but like
they know him for doing this.
Yeah. But I do like the framing of. I mean, it's very similar to like when we talked about like the framing of when they did that, an hour on Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano, where it's like there are a couple things they're omitting, but for the most part, this is more or less like the truth. So they pointed out that like he's had his moments with Reigns at Survivor Series and Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble, and he's ever since he's been champion, like he's more or less in North American champion, he's more or less just like unstoppable. So like what's next is for him to go after the top title in the brand. So Adam Cole points out like you had moments, but you wouldn't have these moments as one for me having my match on SmackDown with Daniel Bryan to save SmackDown that night, or me having that match with Seth Rollins on Raw. So like you don't even get your foot in the door to have these moments if not for me. And then he pointed out like, and what did you do with these moments you had? Like they were great and memorable, but ultimately you ended up being on the losing end of these moments, and all I do is make moments or whatever else, which is like what you say as a heel. Like, so I thought it was a very good
moments. Oh my God.
Right. I mean, it's WWE. So for me, I thought it was really good. It's not nearly as good as the Ciampa and whatever else, Ciampa and Gargano one, because it clearly had less material, but like it was good.
It shouldn't be. If
Right.
you microwave this shit for a fucking week. Imagine. Oh my gosh. Never mind. Like
What?
like imagine doing like your champion versus champion match
On TV?
on TV and
Right.
not on, like, I don't know, the whole.
Rich, we know what this is. They just want to, they just want to fuck with AEW. We know this. So
if they didn't look, if anybody didn't understand what it was before now,
look, just wait.
I don't know when they will.
Just wait till halfway through next week's show when they have they come up with, they pull some shit out their ass to make it go up with Fight for the Fallen. Just wait. You know they're going to do that.
Just wait till there's a Hell in a Cell match in NXT in 2 weeks. You wait. You wait until the Undertaker makes his debut at Full Sail. You wait.
Oh my God. Yeah. So then from there, they go backstage.
You wait till Triple H announces he's wrestling.
Oh God. I do not want Triple H for NXT wrestling. No, thank you. Yeah. So then we end up going in, backstage where we see Johnny consoling Candice after the match from the opener, and they talk about how she got teamed up on, and because she is a person that's been stirring all these kicking up shit with all these people, and so she got her ass dealt with accordingly, and she can't handle it because she's a hypocrite. So Johnny and Candice are complaining, and all of a sudden Candice looks off screen, and all of a sudden she leaves the screen, and the next thing you know, we have reached Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae becoming an on-site feud. She saw her and she attacked. They proceed to brawl backstage in front of Swerve. Swerve grabs Candice to break it up. Johnny doesn't like that. They have words with each other, and the fight gets broken up. So clearly, we're headed somewhere with Swerve and Johnny Gargano. But later, it's announced that before the show goes to the main event, that we are going to get Candice LeRae versus Mia Yim in a street fight, and I can't wait.
Just a word from Swerve. He said, "Wait until you see him and Johnny, whenever it happens." So,
I mean, like, I want to say, hell, I don't know if it was during or probably right, yeah, sometime last year. I was like, I can't wait till you get Johnny Gargano versus Swerve. I can't wait. So yeah, I if you tell me they had a great match, it's like, yeah, I've been anticipating this. I was kind of expecting it. Yeah. So then out comes Santos Escobar, flanked by Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde. They are now calling themselves El Legado de Fantasma. Obviously, the legacy of Fantasma. He comes out this week and he talks about the lucha libre culture. He talks about how it's more than just wrestling. The top luchadors in the past used to be movie stars. We were celebrities, which is a shoot. Like, Santos might be the most popular person and wrestler to ever come out of any country. So or in the respective country. So then he says, like, we are more than just guys in masks that do flips, which is like,
this sounds like the WWE like definition of like what lucha libre.
That's exactly what it is. Like, look here, white man. This is not what we are. I loved it. So, he says he wants to mold lucha libre into his own image for future lucha libre artists. He said, "Artists, Rich, we are artisanal." Sorry.
Question: is prime younger Vince McMahon a tough white man?
In our sense, or in like in a real sense, or in our sense of the word,
our sense.
the term? No, No. I'm trying to see. This man was a geek. Steve Austin's to beat that ass on a weekly basis almost.
But as a shoot.
Oh yeah, that man took a lot of punishment, like, doing those, like, a match a month or whatever it was, whatever else. Like, that's the thing that, like, I think, obviously I see why they did it. Like, they did that stuff with all those guys in the hardcore matches and get bladed and their heads bashed with steel chairs, whatever else, like Shane and Vince, because, like, obviously it helps you, it ingratiates yourself to the wrestlers backstage. But at the same time, it's like, so y'all get to do these crazy ass matches that that most guys don't get to do to get themselves over, but you do it once a month and you get to go heal up. Meanwhile, the normal person that has to do this shit, like an Edge or a Christian or a Dudley Boy, has to take, or a Hardy brother has to do that match and then wrestle tomorrow. Oh, okay. And then go wrestle, like, 200 days a week or 200 days a year. Okay. That seems fair. That makes sense. Anyway.
Shame man, tough white man.
No, absolutely not. He's tough in the literal sense, but not in our sense for wrestling. Fuck no. He's a goof. Yeah. So then, as Phantasma is talking about, the artistry, how this is gonna be artisanal lucha libre. Out comes Drake Maverick. Fresh off of getting his ass destroyed like 2 weeks ago. He shows up with a neck brace, takes the neck brace off. He goes back into the ring. Now, the first time he got his ass destroyed, he said, people always said that that I had more heart than brains, and then he got jumped. So it's like he is sticking to this. I'm going to fight these dudes 3-on-1. Even last time I got sent into the hospital. So
not smart, right? Not growing,
right? So I thought would have been better served if they had, some of his backup, some people they could rely on from the Cruiserweight tournament come help him, but they didn't do that. Gets the ass whooped, and then out comes Fandango and Tyler Breeze. Randomly, they have no connection to the story. They just want to help.
The tough guys.
Yeah, I guess. They just want to help out their fellow white man. So
that's all this is. That's all this is. Bro. When I saw Fandango standing next to Drake Maverick, I was like, I had to rub my eyes. Oh, is that Batista? Like,
dude,
bro, he's so small compared to Fandango.
Dude, you want to know how small Drake Maverick is? Go back to the Kushida and Drake Maverick match, like the first one, the one that Kushida won. It'll be like, Jesus Christ, he's small. He is so small. That
man's smaller than Taiji Mori.
Oh yeah. He's like Ray's size. He may be an inch taller.
Like young Ray, or
no, I meant height wise, but he's like 98 Ray was jacked when he came off the ACL tear. 98 Ray was jacked, so
he was on the juice, bitch.
Probably. But anyway, so there's that set up the Babyface got his ass stomped in, 2 tag team babyfaces come in, and they end up fighting with Wild and Mendoza as Phantasma rolls out the ring. Now, the thing with Phantasma is his gimmick kind of now at this point is like, I'm untouchable. So like that's why he slid out the ring is like, nah, bro. The only time you ever get your hands on me is in the middle of in-ring competition. I'm untouchable. So I think it's a nice touch. They set that up to be a match for next week. Maverick and Fabrice versus El Legado del Fantasma. We'll see how that match goes. We'll see. Like, I think the dynamic. I want to see the singles match between those two again. I don't really care about this trios match.
The Breezango rebrand. Who knew?
Yeah. So then we end up getting Cameron Grimes with this ham ass promo, like
country as fuck.
He's just loud and obnoxious or whatever else. He talks about how like I never want to fight Damian Priest. Damian Priest will never look. I won the match a couple weeks or last week. I'm never going to wrestle him again. In fact, I got new plans. I'm the number one contender. I got next for whoever it becomes a double champion or whatever. Which is like, you know what? It was so absurd and ridiculous that it reminded me of when they were setting up in 2018. They were setting up Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles for WWE title. Like when Miz said, "I don't care what happens, I'm next," and they laughed at him. Like I want the footage of Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles laughing at Miz to be in place to Cameron Grimes saying, "I'm next." It's like, you're not going to be next. Get the fuck out of here. So then we end up getting the main event. Non-title match: Io Shirai versus Sasha Banks. I think that this match, how do I say this? They wrestled this match, like I thought I gave it 4 stars, but I feel like they still could have a better match. I felt like they held stuff back. I do like the story that Io is flat out better than Sasha, is ahead of like every move she makes, except for when Io keeps making this mistake where she keeps like, she gets an advantage and she wants to charge at Sasha, but Sasha keeps, whenever she gets separation and she wants to come charging, she has stuff for her ass every time she makes this mistake. So
let me add, this may been the best like look the American flag has ever had. This is also a contender for Sasha Banks' greatest gear ever.
Think so?
Yes.
I loved it, but I mean, Sasha has so many great gear combinations that, you know,
like this shit was like, oh my god, like
it's this is how I would say it. It's top 10 for sure, maybe even top 5. You would have to start Google imaging, and then you'll be like, "Yeah, I forgot about this one. I forgot about this one." Like Sasha's like the modern age Akira Hokuto of Raw gear.
This
Like,
shit is nuts, bro. Like anytime you think somebody getting close, they're not. Like, like I promise you.
I mean, like seriously. Besides like Mayu,
no,
Sheeta, if she had more gear. I think that's maybe I'm forgetting people. Like that seems to be like kind of it. All right, so yeah, but anyway, Io seemingly has in position to go for a moonsault. Bayley goes to one of the cars and honks the horn for distraction. It was a quick distraction, and Sasha takes advantage. There's a spot where Sasha gets flat out. She gets a what do you call it? Oh my god, what is it called? She goes for like a flip over. Oh my god, why can't I think of this? Tilt-a-whirl avalanche. The power bomb to the outside.
Yeah, the sunset flip.
A sunset flip power bomb. Yeah, she goes sunset flip power bomb to the plexiglass glass on the floor. There's a fight to where Sasha ends up catching one of Io's open palm strikes, a shote, and slaps on a bank statement, makes the ropes. There's a spot where Io goes for the moonsault. Sasha moves out the way. Io lands on her feet and charges. Sasha ends up getting her on the floor. I can't remember with what, and then gets on the top rope and then hits the top rope Meteora. Like, then we end up getting to the finish of the match where Sasha gets on the top rope. She goes for a move. Io lifts up and then slaps on her own version of crossface crippler. Crossface. It's a fight to the ropes. Sasha can't make it. She's in front of Bayley, so she's asking Bayley for help. She can't make it to the ropes. What I thought they were going to do was she was going to extend the belt and then she grabs the belt and then Bayley was going to pull her to the rope. What instead happened is she has 3 belts on, the SmackDown Women's title and both tag belts, so she throws one belt into the ring. Sasha reaches like she's going to reach for it. Then the ref grabs it, and it's a tug of war between the ref and Bayley. So the Bayley lets the ref have it. His back is turned. So then from there, Sasha gets close enough to the ropes in that whole struggle that she pulls Io's face towards the rope, and then Bayley clocks her. So then Bayley talks to the ref as the ref is trying to take the first tag belt to the scorekeeper's table. So the ref and Bayley are out the way. So while this was all happening, Bayley also had the second belt down on the floor for Sasha to use while the distraction is happening. She's distracting the ref, or Bayley is on the floor distracting the ref. So Sasha goes to grab this belt, but she's tugging. She can't get it to come free. She can't get it to come free. Camera changes. On the other end of the belt is Asuka, who has the biggest smile on her face. She's like one of those, you don't know what I got in store for you. Pulls her in closer, misses her. So then Io goes for a schoolboy off the miss. The ref's there, doesn't see kick out. You end up getting a move. Sasha's face down on the mat. Io hits her moonsault, then covers her, and then covers her in a way to where she covers with her leg, covers Sasha's face, gets the pinfall. So then, basically at the end, all four argue with the two, the winner in the ring, babyface in the ring, and the heels on the outside, and then they let out the pyro to celebrate.
So you mean to tell me, like, the only main roster person to come do a job, as dirty of a job as it is, was Sasha?
Yeah. Well, wait. I'm trying to think. No. The Revival also did jobs during the Survivor Series build too.
Well, we know why they did jobs.
That was a good ass match, by the way, too. It was O'Reilly and Fish versus Revival. That's the best match Revival I've had since. Let's see. I'm trying to think other jobs. I think because it was it was Ricochet went to a tie with somebody.
Or Riddle.
Who it was? That's what it was. That's who it was. Yep. Yeah, but pretty much, yeah. No.
So like Charlotte.
Nope. No job. Nope. Well, Seth Rollins. To be fair, Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan did jobs.
Seth Rollins did a job? When?
That Friday when they came in for the save NXT or save SmackDown that night. Daniel Bryan,
they went to a DQ.
Did it go to DQ?
Adam Cole and Seth Rollins went to a DQ. I thought.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll take that back. So Daniel Bryan did a job too.
Of course, yeah. Daniel Bryan and Sasha Banks jobs. Amazing. Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was just a good match. The interference kind of bugged me at the end, but it's just wrapped in political bullshit.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right. Now, I don't blame you for hating the political bullshit because I thought that if that stuff wasn't,
it's amazing Io even won.
Yeah. That's another thing is I thought that there's political bullshit all around it, but at least they did it in a creative way to where you don't feel as bad about it. Sasha, Io beat the WWE person, and there's still level of protection because it's setting up the Asuka versus Sasha match as well, and a potential tag match as well. So if they eventually go to a tag match on or whatever else, they can do it on NXT or they can do it on the main roster, and people will know who Io is or whatever else. So it's they did a lot of stuff that I like the finish for the possibilities it opened. That's the best way I can explain it.
White Pants Bayley. A thing.
She, who was I going to say? I don't know what to make of Bayley anymore.
Hey, White Pants Bayley. If I had to clean up for White Pants Bayley.
Okay, so New Japan Cup. Go ahead, Rich. Give me the synopsis of what you watched. None of it.
I've been. I haven't. I fell behind. Okay. Unfortunately, so I think the last thing I watched was Tanahashi and Taichi. So the quarterfinals and after that, I did not see, but there's been some interesting bookings.
See, that Tanahashi shit was so like problematic that it was like, I don't even want to watch shit no more. Like Taichi got out here and did all this cheating the whole match. Fuck this, I don't watch this no more.
No, like that wasn't it, but
okay.
I'm just gonna say it. The New Japan Empty Arena is dry. Very dry, and it's like, man, it's just like you think these are very easy shows to get through, right? But then it's just like, I can't wait till they get fans back.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's really affected me one way or the other because like I'm not watching tags. I don't care. Like I'm only watching the tournament matches. And to be quite frank, like if they're a match I don't want to see, I am not watching it. Like nah. Like there was a Sonata and Taichi match that were like in the first 5 minutes of the match they circle each other for like 90 seconds, and then once the first time they ever get into any sort of a lockup, Sonata gets an arm ringer on Taichi. Taichi gets to the ropes and is like back up, and he's doing it like because he's like playing mind games when he's fucking with him, and he did it again, and then like he takes off the tag rope off one of the corners, and then like in the opposite corner he ends up choking Sonata to the ground until Red Shoe sees the thing, and I was like, well, that's like 4 or 5 minutes of my time. I paused it. I asked in the thread, I was like, hey man, this is what happened in the first 5 minutes of this match. Do I need to watch any more of this? And then sure enough, like people were like, I didn't even watch it. So then I ended up going to the cage match, saw that shit had a 5 next to it. Oh no.
Not 5 stars.
Nope, not 5 stars. Like 5 meaning like 5 out of 10. Bitch, I fast forward to the finish and watched Sonata win that match and moved on. No thank you. Not doing it. I'm not doing it with Taichi. Like when bad Taichi, I'm not putting up with it. Like, and another thing I'm not putting up with it coming into the tournament, now we're getting to it now, is like cheating Evil, not doing it. I just won't. Like, he's in a final, he ended up beating Sonata in the semis, and the whole match all he did was cheat. He kicked him in the nuts twice. He, did his normal ref spot where he grabs a kick and then like puts the kick and hands the kick off to the foot of the opponent to the ref and then kicks the opponent. He did a ref assisted magic killer. He used chairs multiple times. Like for a person that is going to the final and is, seemingly is going to win this tournament and to fight the champion Naito, like, they did jack shit to actually really get him over as somebody you were supposed to respect as anything more than a bum of the month. Did very little. Like they did more. They were more concerned with protecting Sonata with all of the cheating that Evil did than actually get over Evil, who won the fucking match.
Yeah, man. Evil looks like he's going to win this thing. This is being recorded before Evil and Okada takes place. Yep. From what I'm hearing is Okada has kind of struggled in the empty arena format with the, just his match style. Mm-hmm. But Evil, he never, ever, ever makes anything better. Like, there's no situation that you can plug Evil into at any point in the last couple of years and be like, oh, that would be better if Evil was in it.
Right.
Like,
better. Like, hold on. Better compared to the other options available. That's what's important.
Right. So, like, it could be the same. It could be exactly as good as it was, mm-hmm. right? Whatever the situation is. Like, maybe. But it will never be better.
Right. Right.
Like, I don't know. Evil's always been very just kind of run of the mill for me. I understand that LIJ is very popular in Japan and all that. And unfortunately, like, I've had to throw out the line of thinking that, maybe if they want to be a worldwide company, they need to act like it. No, then they clearly, they clearly weren't interested in in booking like that or anything like that, or else, Kenny and the Bucks would still be there. But Yeah, Naito versus Evil. That sounds like it's gonna suck.
That is a match.
Like that don't sound like the New Japan that you can't follow when you turn on the whatever, like AEW. Like that's like I don't go by that rule, because especially for situations like this, because it ain't all like know,
right. Like it is. It's
physical level.
Yeah. Like, how do I say this? When you get guys that want to wrestle and they or not want to wrestle, but when you have guys and you tell them to go out there and to wrestle, then that's when it's like you can't put a New Japan show on and then go watch some other wrestling, especially American wrestling, right? Like it is just because like these guys, and it's not just New Japan, but like this is Japan's like idea of wrestling in general is like we are wrestling for wins for around, and it's all based around winning and losing, like the want to win and the desperation to not lose and the heart and determination you have to fight through whatever crazy thing happens in you in order to win, or more specifically not to lose. So like when you have American wrestling where it's all this showmanship stuff, not to say that like Japanese wrestlers don't have showmanship and the quote-unquote charisma, but it's like that's not what the goal is. Their goal is to try to give you a dramatized facsimile of a sport, whereas our wrestling is more geared towards the theatricality stuff. Like fuck, that's why we have wrestling overran with like fuck finishes and then like stuff of not beating people or whatever else, because we got to have a hook to make people emotionally invest on wanting to watch it again. But anyway, when you have Naito and Evil in there, it's like if this is a G1 match or whatever else, I expect to have a good match. But like this is a match where it's like they are going to go out there and Evil has gotten over by crossing, his fucking tag partner. What do you think he's going to do to Naito? He's going to fucking cheat. He's going to play the heel. And it's like, I don't want to watch that. Because it's like, Naito at this point is like, he only wrestles to the level of the amount of respect he has for his opponent. And like, I kind of feel like he doesn't respect Evil enough to want to have a great match. I just don't. He's like, yeah, it's fine. I guess I'll take my shirt off for the title defense. I guess.
Yeah. So it's New Japan, like, New Japan Cup, they typically tend to push like a new person, like all the time. Going back to 2015, they pushed Kota Ibushi and he won it. Goto, he won in 2016, 2017, Shibata, 2018. Who won in 2018? I don't remember. Zack Sabre Jr. in 2018.
That's right.
Last year, fucking
Okada won.
Okada. So that was a kind of outlier. But
that was just a setup to. That's the setup.
The title match.
Title match. Yeah.
So this one is like back to form, and it's Evil this year. So it's like Evil's never excited me, but New Japan, like Gato's bought himself enough, rope.
Yeah. It's not in the world. It's like it's one main event match, and it's like like. Given what the direction, it seems like we're going to get a third Goto in show match, which is like, thank you. So
Shingo.
Yeah. Sorry, I said Goto. I meant Shingo. Yeah. So another part to mention is in the semis, or no, I'm sorry, the quarterfinals. You had Ishii versus Hiromu, and that fucking match is incredible. I believe it's the best match of the tournament. I think it's even better than Sho and Shingo. It's just like it's hilarious to see like it's the cruiserweight champion versus the biggest baddest guy, and like and you look at it and get in the ring and they go eye to eye, and it's like they're the same size. but it's like Hiromu is trying all of his stuff that like works with Dragon Lee, where it's like, all right, I'm just gonna chop you and we're gonna see who's the toughest. It's like you can't chop this redwood with that little axe you got, Chief. It's not gonna work. And he's no selling that, and Ishii's no selling them chops, and he chops him back, and he just cannot handle this heavyweight power from a dude that's the same size. And then And then he just beats the shit out of Hiromu, and he's like, "You ain't tough. Oh, you a champion? I can't tell. I've been whooping your ass." He actually said something about champion in the middle of the match, but like obviously speaking Japanese, but I'm imagining that's what he's saying. You know, most of the time when like he talks shit, I imagine he just cuss people out in Japanese. So the whole match turns into Hiromu trying to prove that he can lariat Ishii off his feet. And there's nothing doing. He has no chance. He can't get it done. He cannot get it done. And every time Ishii hits a lariat on him, he's doing the flip bump every single time. And eventually, Hiromu fires up, and eventually he keeps fighting, but he keeps trying to get to this lariat, and it keeps failing every time. He keeps getting no soul, and then eventually he hits it, and you're like, he hits it. And then he hits his move, the time bomb. He was like, okay, that's it. And then Ishii kicks, and he's like, now Hiromu's fucked. Like and then Ishii goes on a run, and then like he's able to sustain it, and then he ends up beating Ishii. And I was like, this is a great match. This is a great fucking match. Like cage match has it like a 4 3/4. I'm somewhere between 4.5 and 4 3/4. But I love the match. So then. You end up getting the semifinal, Okada versus Hiromu. I gave it 4 1/4. I really like the match. But like I imagine for a lot of people, like they're going 25 minutes, and you know what Okada does in 25-minute matches. Like, if you want to fast forward to the 15-minute mark, that's your prerogative, but like he's building his match towards like these last 15 minutes, and they were good ass last 15 minutes. It wasn't like the first 15 minutes were like stuff you can just write off, but like you know what his style is. He takes every bit of his like the pace of a match you're getting out of Okada. You know how long the match is going by how he wrestles. You just know from the start. But yeah, I thought it was a good ass match, and at the end like it was an interesting story to like. He wore him down, and by wear him down, I don't mean like the bigger dude wore him out with cardio. It's like he cut off his airway and he not laid on him, but like the size wore out Hiromu, and he couldn't withstand it, and then it was just rainmakers and he's done. But it was a good ass match. So like we've been talking about Okada versus Evil. I think that's the 11th. Yeah, Saturday. And then Sunday is Dominion. I don't know what the layout of the card is, obviously, but I expect it to be a good show. It'll be in front of a crowd. It'll be Osaka Joe Hall. It'll be a third capacity, so it's like 6,000 people.
So they'll have Shingo and Sho. They'll have Tanahashi and Ibushi against Taichi and Sabre.
Yep.
They will, I would assume, have who else will be on there? Okada's got to be in something, but I don't know what. They did also come out with the Lions Break show. I did catch that Friday night. It's their Friday night show. They're doing like their American show. It was a 2-match show. It was
LA,
like
right?
Yeah, it's in LA. Filthy Tom's going to be on there in a couple weeks.
I heard he was affiliated, but I didn't know the specifics.
It was a nice like little basic show.
Okay.
Carl Fredericks is going to be a superstar. Saying it now. This isn't news. This isn't anything like that you guys don't know. But he is no longer a young lion. He has his gimmick now, and he can wrestle. He has a presence. He has a look, and he can talk. Like Jay White. Counter, like your days are numbered, like because Carl Fredericks is going to get over. I can tell you this now. So, my question is, what is this Master Wato stuff? Oh yeah, I forgot about Master Wato. Only the GOAT, Master Wato. What's his name? Hirai Kawato is back from excursion. He was in Mexico, and he's back as the Grand Master. So for weeks and weeks, we've been seeing these Grand Master vignettes, and they've just been in the middle of a forest looking like it was some Mortal Kombat shit.
At first, I was like, wait a second. Is this... I know what you're talking about. At first, I was like, is this like... Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon shit. I was like, but wait, that's Chinese. This is Japanese. What the fuck's going on? But
right. And then he jumps out and he has like this weird ass outfit on, and then he looks like he's gained a bunch of weight like from when he was a young lion, but he's like his face looks like fat. It's like weird. It's just like, and he's wearing this absurd color jacket or whatever. It's like purple, and then fucking Dookie lays him out. And apparently there's like a long backstory to it and stuff like that.
I'm guessing dating back to Mexico.
Yeah. So they're going to have a match on the New Japan final, and I would assume he would beat Dookie, and then that would be his introduction. I think he's a junior, so, but it's a big joke. Master Wato is the default answer to anything right now. Master Wato.
Oh man, I think I prefer the sugar hold better as the answer to everything, but whatever.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, I made the joke. I was like, Gato slipping. Like,
oh my God.
You gotta watch out. You gotta look at small things before you know it. It's a big thing. It's like, hey man, what the fuck's going on out here? Like a year down the road, you see the promotion in shambles.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Serious question. Like, how much of this show is like our PTSD from our experience from the main roster into like the ideas of what's going to happen to AEW in the future, or NXT in the future, or Stardom in the future, or New Japan in the future? We're all just like, yo, bro, like, I don't know about this, bro, because we so used to like, them, taking the car off the ledge or off the edge of the cliff, and it's like, when are we ever going to be able to be to a place where like we can actually trust bookers ever? I don't think we'll ever get to that point.
I'll say this: Tony Khan has not put me through a Jay White push yet, so I trust Tony Khan right now. But like the pitfalls, like he's like they're there. He just has to like not allow himself to build around Cody. Like that's all you got to avoid doing.
Oh my God.
That's all you have to avoid doing. Literally pick any of the other top people.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't have much Stardom news.
You build around Cody, this promotion's going down.
I don't think so. Like they already sort of are building around Cody. Like he's a top 4 person.
Like I said, if you make him the ace, you're going down.
I don't know. Like I think the undercard will be good enough to support that. Whatever. I really don't care. Well, I do care, but like, whatever. I don't think like that is going to make me like dislike the Lucha Bros match because of like he's on top. Like I don't give it. Like I mean, like I'll still tune in or whatever else. Like yes, it'll be. I will feel if they let him stick to the habits that he's built to get himself to this point. Like it will be like a lot less enjoyable than like what we have been getting so far. So I agree with that, but like it won't make me be like, oh yeah, this is ruining the company. Nah. But yeah, just quick Stardom news. They the other day announced that they have 6 shows upcoming. They have next Saturday and Sunday they have 2 shows. They have a Korakuen Hall on the 17th. Then they have 2 other shows, and actually have another Korakuen Hall at the end of July. So they're basically doing 2 Korakuen Hall shows like 2 weeks apart, which is like it looks like they're headed back to doing consistent shows again, which is like thank you. I've missed them very, very much, and I can't wait to see them consistently have better matches than Penelope Ford's matches. But we can continue from there. You have anything else, Rich? Oh, sorry, I have one. So, like I said, Penelope Ford has had like 220 something matches or whatever, right? Over 5 years. Like, how many matches do you think like Big Si has had?
Probably like 50.
Nah, bro. She debuted in like August?
That's enough time for 50 matches.
You gotta remember, they've missed.
Oh yeah, they've
months.
been out. Yeah.
Yeah, she probably has like 30 matches, some shit like that.
Well, she's probably wrestling a lot better wrestlers than Penelope Ford was going through on the independent scene.
That is true. That is probably true. The potential. It's like y'all got to stop with this. Like, I think we're at a point now where, like, I understand the potential thing was back in the day when, like, you quote unquote had to learn how to work on the fly in the ring. You had to call it in the ring. Like, we don't do that anymore. So, like, the standard for quote unquote getting the job done and being a consistent wrestler is like, you can get there a lot faster, and we see it constantly. Like,
maybe Penelope has a lower bar to get to where they want to ultimately get her, because of everything else she has, like, a strength in. Like, because you can't say nothing about it. But, like, she has the look.
Yeah, and that's why they're pushing her.
So, like, once the wrestling just gets, like, it catches up just enough. Like, she doesn't have to become, like, as good of a wrestler as
Azumi.
Right. So
a
it's
17-year-old.
A child.
Yes, a literal child.
So like she doesn't have to do that because like,
and she ain't gonna never be that good. Never. That ain't happening. That would take a wild turn of events.
So like, you know, I don't know. What was I gonna say? I forgot. I totally missed it. But yeah, we should wrap the show up.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, y'all. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this. Tell the folks about the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Shout out to our friends at powerslam.tv. They're one of the sponsors of the show. They have over 5,000 hours of independent pro wrestling from all over the world. You can use the code Social Suplex to get your free month's trial. Also, check us out on our Discord. You can find the link in the One Nation Radio Twitter at One Nation Radio. Check us out on Pro Wrestling Tees /Social Suplex. ProWrestlingTees.com/Social Suplex and pick up some official Social Suplex Podcast Network merchandise. Be sure to check out the other shows on the network. We have this shows on Sundays and Mondays. On Tuesdays, or Mondays and Tuesdays, we have Keepin It Strong Style. On Wednesdays, we have the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. Every other Wednesday, we have Grown and Watch This Shit. On Fridays, we have Get in the Ring. And on Saturdays, we have All Things Elite. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Pick up your manscape.
Later, y'all.